You ever wonder what makes a great gamer? Great gaming is not only about cheering on our teammates, but also being there to pick us up when we're down.
Guardian down!
We're a Destiny 2 podcast that focuses on three things: community, news around the gaming industry and Destiny 2, and thought-provoking topics in the game. We're Guardian Downcast. Your stories, your community, your destiny. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 289. Man, we're getting there. Almost 300. Of Guardian Downcast. I'm your host, ToddtheGatr, and I'm a Day One Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. For those of you who may have just discovered our podcast, we are a weekly Destiny and gaming show. We've been producing audio episodes for probably over 5 years now, almost 6 years. Things have changed a little over the years and our show has grown. One of those changes is that we've decided to produce a live version of our podcast, a live and video version of our podcast and our show on YouTube, where you can interact with us in the chat on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we're also in our Discord community. Welcome everybody in the Discord tonight. I'll see you there. And what we do basically is we try to interact and with our live chat, and at the same time do a podcast. So again, it's Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, and I usually announce it in our Discord. And if you're like, what Discord? That's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. If you want an invite to our community, we'll also have a replay of tonight's show on my YouTube channel. And of course, the audio version for you listeners out there, thank you for your ears, will be always available. And you can go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, to listen to any of our back episodes as well on demand. This week, it is our monthly roundtable episode. For those of you who may be new to the podcast, once a month we produce a roundtable episode whereby members of our community bring a topic, story, article, or just a point of view to the table. The topics can be anything related to the gaming industry, entertainment, social media, basically anything that pertains to our love of the hobby and our gaming life. Each of us will introduce our topic and give our opinions and takes on it, and then we'll go around the table and see what everyone else thinks. In this month's roundtable episode, I have all of my co-hosts here tonight. From the great state of Utah, it is Mr. Kingsleymac, who has brought his own topic tonight. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great. Glad to be here once again.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And from the great state of North Carolina, we have Mr. RNGGator. How are you doing, Chet?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Doing good, man. We have a returning guest roundtabler on the show tonight, and he's part of our bigger Patreon community from the great state of Idaho. Welcome back, Steel Zealot. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, did I get that right? It's Idaho, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. I thought I was getting old. I forgot stuff. Before we get into our topics tonight, we're going to catch up and see what we've all been doing this week, but we'll do that right after this short break.
Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. There are several ways you can contact us. First, you can find us on X at Guardian Downcast. Or you can find us on our Instagram at Guardian Downcast and see what pics and reels ToddtheGatr and his podcast guests want to share with you guys. We have a brand new website too. Just visit guardiandowncast.com, where you can find all of our contact info, leave us a voicemail, give our show a rating or review, search for any past episodes, or even give back to our community. Also, don't forget to sign up for future updates to the show, where we'll also have random drawings throughout the year, and you may win a gift card or even some GDC merch. And finally, you can send us an email at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. Our community thrives on interaction, so get involved and check us out. And later, Guardian.
All right. Well, before we get to our topics tonight, I want to catch up, and I'm curious to see what everyone's been doing this week in gaming and life. And Steel Zealot, since you're our guest on the roundtable tonight, let's start with you, man. What you been up to this week? What have you been gaming, watching? Anything you want to talk about?
Pretty much just working light duty. still going through physical therapy on my knee. I messed it up back in July of last year. As far as like gaming, haven't really picked up anything new. I did play Warframe for like maybe an hour. This was like a couple weeks ago, but pretty much just sticking with Destiny, and just when I can, I've been watching The Rookie with our Cade voice actor Nathan Fillion. It's a really good show. I enjoy it.
Nice.
I think I'm in season 3 right now.
Okay. So you like it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
my wife and daughter love that show.
It's a good show.
Nice. You been doing anything in Destiny lately, or what have you been doing in gaming? Just kind of chilling?
Haven't really been getting too much into Destiny. I used to play almost every day. Now it's like I'll jump in for, a couple hours every other night. I ran VOG last week. I think it was last Saturday, Friday or Saturday, and played some Iron Banner with some of the community on Monday. That was a fun time.
Very good. Very nice, man. All right. Well, I'll go to you, Chet. What have you been doing this week, man? What you been up to?
Besides working, playing Marvel Rivals, that was something else I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it was now. Oh well. Well, straighten up my room I'm in now. I finally have got all my everything moved to my new desk. My old desk is still in here. That's where I moved all my internet stuff and moved out an old desk that I had the internet stuff on. So I kind of swapped everything around. So I finally have my stand-up desk.
Okay.
But other than that and watching shows and everything, some guys at work today were telling me about, I don't know, have you seen it called Silo? It's on Apple TV.
Yeah,
either you or Kingsley watch it.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I just finished the the last episode of it last week. I think I talked about it.
Yeah, it's like 2 seasons. They were talking about it this morning. Guys were talking. I haven't watched it yet. They were just telling me about it. I found it interesting.
I thought the ending was very, very good. It was a very slow season for me, and it was just really slow for everything to develop in it. And I don't know. I think it ended really good. It definitely ended on a surprise note. That's for sure. In fact,
it's not done yet.
Well, that's just it. It switched over to a whole different.
They're supposed to follow the books and go for I think 3 more seasons. Apple said they're going to finish it or something like that.
Well, what I meant is
they're not going to cut it short.
On remember the last scene of the last episode, it switches to a totally different venue, and you're like, what the hell is this? Do you remember that? I don't want to spoil that for people who are probably still trying to watch it.
No, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
gotcha.
Yeah. They just changed to a whole nother area, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it was a whole
that.
different timeline even. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil it. But so what else you been up to, man?
Good. That's pretty much it. That and family stuff.
Okay. All right. Kingsleymac. How about you, man?
All right. For me, interesting thing, I went to, first time in my adult life, I went to eye doctor. I've always had perfect vision. These aren't actually prescription glasses. These are just nothing glasses. I got them through a vendor.
Like readers or
these
just
aren't readers.
They're literally
like
just
blue light ones, aren't they?
Well, they're blue light, yes,
Gotcha.
but they're no prescription.
No magnification. Okay.
But yeah, no magnification. But I kind of knew I was getting there. The normal, when you get in your 40s, everyone has slightly worse vision. And so I just figured, finally go to the doctor. It's covered under insurance. Plus I've been getting a little bit more watery eyes, like dry eye issues, and then, overcompensate from that.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I just appreciate all the technology that they have and just the million little tests that they do on your eyes. And I did get a prescription for some readers, the most minor prescription you can get, just barely. Like my right eye, I have a plus 25, and then I have a little bit of astigmatism, and then my left eye a plus 0.75, so plus 0.25, nice. Not even 1, and then plus 0.75 on my left. And so I'm going to use that to get some readers, which will really help with because I've noticed over the years, doing computer stuff, reading little serial numbers on stuff, I can't quite see it as good these days. So it'll be nice to have some readers and kind of I like wearing glasses anyways, even though these are nothing glasses, like I said, but now I'll have some ones with prescription.
I like it. I like it. Well, good.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Just kind of did that today. Not too much else interesting. So you can carry on because we have lots to talk about tonight.
Well, I have 3 movie reviews and 2 TV shows I watched this week. As far as Destiny, I've been playing. I played a little bit of Iron Banner on Monday night with the community, and I didn't play very long. I just was really tired, but I played for a couple hours, and good times as usual. We were kicking butt, doing a good job. Everyone was having fun. So yeah, I think Iron Banner. I'm liking playing in groups again. I don't know what they did in the when they did the team-based matchmaking. Maybe it is actually working now. And I played on controller on PC. So, or I played on my PS5 against players on PC with mouse and keyboard. So, and still had a good time. So I was very surprised. Had a good time playing Iron Banner. I really didn't need anything. I already got everything. So I was just playing to just BS with the community and see everybody's doing. I did see some surprising movies this week. Movies that I haven't mentioned in the past that I was going to go see, and we just decided last minute to go see them. The first one is from Steven Soderbergh. I'm sure you guys know that name. He made all the Ocean's 11 and all the trilogy movies. Aaron Brockovich and Who Can Forget Traffic. I mean, those are all big time movies. And he made a movie. It's kind of labeled as a horror movie, but it's not really. It's more of a suspense movie called The Presence. And it's about a family of 4 who move into a new house, and they just start witnessing all these mysterious things happening. And I know it sounds like an overused storyline, and that's what I was expecting actually when I went to the movie. I wasn't really giving it much credit, but man, what a great film. It uses a handheld camera approach, and it only follows the ghost. Everything you see in the movie is from the ghost point of view. So the ghost, spirit, whatever you want to call it, that's in the house, you're only seeing or hearing conversations when he goes like downstairs and focuses on something going on, or goes back upstairs, and you only see the perspective of the ghost. And there's moments where the daughter actually can sense that the ghost is there, and you'll see her kind of pause and look right at the camera, and you're like, oh crap, she actually sees the ghost or senses it or something. But the ending is what made the movie. The ending just blows you away. What happens. And really good. Lucy Liu and let's see, I think Chris Sullivan. You remember This Is Us from NBC? He was kind of the overweight guy who played the boyfriend in I'm seeing him in a lot more stuff now, but he's really good. He played the husband in it, and like I said, they're having their own stressful times as well. He's trying to keep the marriage intact and trying to keep the family in one piece, because there's a lot of stuff going on. A friend died. One of the daughter's friends overdosed, and you'll find out why later in the movie. It's really creepy, but yeah, it's really good. I give this one four solid stars. Really good, really surprising movie. Definitely want to see this one once it comes out in the streaming. The second movie I did see is September 5th. My wife and I last night went to this. It's actually based on the true events of September 5th of 1972. And I know a lot of you guys weren't even here then. But it's when they had the I think the Summer Olympics, which were held in Munich, West Germany at the time, because remember, Germany was still East and West Germany. It was the first ever recorded terrorist event live. 900 million people were tuned into their TV sets.
That's right. I remember this movie trailer. 900
million people tuned into that. And it's actually, I don't know if you knew this, but that's where the term terrorist came from. It was something the Germans called people who were holding up people or something, and that's where we got the name terrorist. And it was it's all behind the scenes. Everything you see is all through a camera eye. It's all through a control room, kind of behind the scenes. It shows them trying to rig up telephones where they can hear people reporting. Remember, it's 1972. I mean, we kind of take for granted how easily we can do stuff now with our technology, but it was really good. It also kind of exposed how the German police dropped the ball on it. And I won't tell you how it ends, but if you know anything about historical events, you already know. But it's very surreal. I kind of felt like I was right there, and it was an enjoyable movie. It's not as good as Presents, but I give it 3.5 stars. It was a solid, good movie. On TV, I saw on Prime Video the new Jeopardy version called Pop Culture Jeopardy. It's hosted by Colin Jost from SNL. And I said, what the hell? I didn't have anything to watch one night. And I said, let's see what this is about. Cause I love trivia, and for those of you who go to the bars or the local places with a couple of your friends and play trivia nights and try to win money. My son used to do that all the time. I think you'll really enjoy this. It's a straight up Jeopardy show. The sounds, the announcer, everything is just right from Jeopardy, but it's all teams of 3, just like, if you're going to do a competition. And there's so many teams. It's a bracket style, elimination type thing. And you obviously are trying to work through to get to the finale where someone I think could win $300,000, I think was the prize. But check that out, Prime Video. On HBO Max, I saw the new medical drama called The Pit. And it's now out. I've watched the first 4 episodes that they've released so far. And it is a unique take on kind of the normal medical dramas out there. But each episode is actually an hour of time in this crazy underfunded emergency room. The characters are really well developed in episode 1, and I'm already pulling for some of them by episode 4. A group of med students are also part of the show, and they're training, walking around doing their residency training. And we find out really quick that they get thrown right into a crash course in chaos. So the show is super gritty, probably more so than the usual ER shows out there. And the realism is so good to the point that you might actually feel queasy when you see some of it. It's my new obsession on HBO Max now that I've finished Penguin. And so check out those 2 shows. 2 good shows you might want to check out on the streaming services. And I did see one really stinker movie this week. And it's unfortunate because I was really looking forward to seeing this. It's the new Star Trek movie from Paramount Plus called Section 31. It's if you're a Trekkie like I am, it's a continuation from the Discovery series, but it focuses on Captain Philippa Georgiou, who was played by Michelle Yeoh. It's about a secret division of Starfleet called Section 31, where the objective is, of course, protecting the United Federation of Planets. And the TLDR on this one is Philippa is dragged into joining this Section 31, and then she has to face her demons along the way because she did a lot of bad things to get to where she is now. And she's kind of dragged into into Section 31, but what's the mission? I didn't care because the movie was so freaking boring. It was a bunch of dialogue, not a whole lot of action. You get your space scenes and stuff, your token, space shots of the ships and stuff. But this was the lowest rated Star Trek series or movie in Rotten Tomatoes history. The critics only have it at 20%. And I think the other rating companies out there were even lower than that. So I have to agree. I've consumed every bit of Star Trek in the past and present, and this one just falls really short of the quality standards that most Star Trek shows and movies expect. So 2 stars. Don't recommend. Bad movie. It was so bad. I just didn't even know. I didn't even know by the end of the movie, I didn't even know what they were even doing. It was so convoluted. So, I've been playing Bellatra, of course. I'm trying to get the higher stakes done on my favorite decks and, trying to unlock all 150 jokers in the game. I'm almost there. But other than that, that is it for me. Anybody else have anything else they want to add?
Not really.
I did want to ask. Go ahead.
What did you think of Penguin? How did you think of it? You don't have to say give away anything.
No.
How did you like the ending of it?
Yeah, I talked about it last week. It was my wife and I loved it. The writing is so smart, and it is such a good Batman movie, and it is a Batman movie because at the end you'll see Batman gets involved.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, like the nice little twist they threw in the last couple episodes and everything.
It's such a great movie. Good writing, everything. It was really clever. The character development, everything, and that's important to me. I want to feel for the characters in the shows, and it made me do that. So, and the one character, what happens to the one character, which I'm not gonna say nothing in case nobody's watched it. What happens to that one guy? I did not like.
You know,
One guy.
the younger guy.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe you did that. But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, though, Chet? I had a feeling in the back of my mind, the way they were setting up that scene on that bench and outside the hospital, I had a feeling. I had a feeling he was going to turn to his evil side and do that. So I'm not going to say anymore. I did want to ask Kingsley, because I don't know if you guys watched the Bungie live stream, but I did. And I was just curious. I think, Kingsley, you watched it too?
Yep.
Just curious, man. What did you think of the live stream this week? Any takeaways from it?
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm happy and then also concerned at the same time. They're doing what they showed us is the way they're doing the Dreadnought is going to be similar to Haunted Leviathan, where you can't quite do full exploration patrol. There's like a fake version. I'll get to that in a second. It looks really cool. The Dreadnought's back, and there's going to be a lot of patrol zones. I'm curious how many, though. Will it just be like half of the Dreadnought back, kind of like Haunted Leviathan was a small part? But basically, the activity seems cool, but you can go in regular mode, hard mode, or exploration mode. The problem is exploration mode. And I remember this was the thing with Haunted Leviathan also. There's still kind of the activity going on. Now, you will be solo, and you don't have to partake in it, but it's going to be very distracting and in your face at all times. And if you accidentally shoot the person, if you didn't want to do the activity, then it's going to start it even more. So I just hope that they say there's going to be secrets
kind of like a public event.
I just hope that getting these secrets will be, not right next to where the activities are, So we're like trying to run around and stuff.
I guess, right.
And also the funny thing is like, of course, they had to change it up so much. Like when I was watching some of the videos, they have like tons of like taken tendrils like everywhere. Even DMG was saying he was feeling claustrophobic in that area. I'm like, why did they have to change it up that much? Yeah. I understand changing it up some, but like if it doesn't even have the basic look and feel, and you're just like running around through like a million little like tentacle things all around you just to make it, interesting for cover purposes or whatever. I'm like, But
why take something so iconic as the Dreadnought and change it like that?
I mean, I can see like changing maybe a little bit here and there. But yeah, good point. Because no one was really happy what they did with Haunted Leviathan. Also, the derelict Leviathan, they ruined it.
Yeah,
and this isn't just a remember berries thing or whatever. It's just like it's more to it than that. From what I saw, I'm concerned on how they changed it, but I'm excited. That's just the question you were asking me, Todd, on what I thought about the stream. It's obviously too early to say. I'll give my full
talk about
review once we actually jump in it.
Yep, we'll talk about next week in next week's show.
Yeah, next week is when the season starts.
It's when Heresy begins.
The new episode.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like Act 3 just flew by. I mean, it just woof.
It was only 4 weeks or ish.
Yeah.
So.
In fact, I got to go get a couple of my bento boxes before reset because I've got a few things I just got to finish up.
I still got to do that too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be Act 2, you mean? Act 3 is what you're going into, right?
No.
Act
this is Act 3.
Now we're going to Episode 3, Act 1.
Episode 3. That's what I meant.
Act 3. Act 3 was what, 4 weeks long? It's really short.
Act 3 of Episode 2 is what you're in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We're in Act 3, and it's really, really quick. I'm glad it went quick because I'm ready to get out of Revenant. I'm ready for it to be done. There's two things I didn't like about. One thing I liked about the stream, and one thing I really did not like about that activity. I have never been a fan of attrition modifier in anything I play, where you have to go grab wells to get your health back, or you have so much health. They give you more health, but the consumable or the whatever the resource is your health, and it's going to force people to use those health guns. And that's one thing I did like with.
Or just run around and look for those things. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look for the wells or whatever.
Yeah.
I've always hated that. I've always hated where I have to, I've got like a sliver of health that's not coming back, so I can't hide. And I don't know. Maybe put that in the expert version, but why put it in? Why put it in the main version? My prediction is they're going to reverse that. They're going to change that. I just see that happening. Too many people are going to complain about it. Because I've always hated attrition.
because they have the exploration mode, and also remember, it's not a normal health to begin with. They're giving you basically 2 or 3 times as much.
That's true.
And then you just got to save it throughout the whole activity. Yeah. Well, each phase of the activity. I am concerned also, but I wouldn't put a bet on them changing it, because that sounds like it's so integral to the activity. That would be, they can't. That's not just an easy thing they could probably turn off. They would have to like then adjust every single boss and add and everything like that. But I see the concern.
I love that Destiny is bringing back a lot of the pulse rifles. They're bringing back one of my favorite pulse rifles from, I want to say, well, anyway. But the new weapons, the new seasonal weapons look really good. I love the way they look. And the fact that we now have a second auto rifle frame that does the healing, that, you know, where you can heal your teammates. But one thing I noticed, Kings, I don't know if you watched, this guy was shooting the heck out of his teammate, and his health was barely going up. So how many bullets are we going to have to pump to our teammates just to get them to little health? That just seems it seems like they need to overtune that a little more. But I don't know.
Maybe I didn't notice that part. And even if they were showing it, you can't take that at face value also, because maybe something else is going on in that very specific area.
Yeah.
And of course, an auto rifle shoots a lot of bullets, so you don't want to have it up too fast per bullet.
I get that.
But that could be something that I could see them tuning, because that wouldn't, like, you know, who knows on that. And well, they already are tuning it, because remember, we were reading in the TWID that the distances go further now too. Yeah. So they already are buffed it.
Okay.
So all
right.
So maybe it might just go slowly. It's kind of more guaranteed to hit your friends, you know, with these healing rifles now.
That's true. And you just hip fire it. So I mean, it's not really like it's hard to use. But I tell you, the Lodestar, having a primary ammo trace rifle, it got me excited. But again, and again, you're probably going to say the same thing, Kingsley. It didn't look like it was doing a lot of damage on the boss. And you know, you can hip fire it as a regular trace rifle. I know, but then it has like a 3 burst, like a pulse rifle. When you aim down the sight, man, I'm going to have so much fun with this rifle. I just hope it's not so weak where it just is a novelty weapon, because if it doesn't work for me, it'll just get thrown into. And this is what you'll get with the season pass, your first weapon.
You already use primaries and raids on bosses anyway.
I do.
So you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. And then I didn't even see the circular gun called the Barodiad. I didn't even see this thing. This is is this a sidearm? Oh, it's a submachine gun. I'll have to look at this.
They're in the TWID too. If
you want I'll show the screen when we get to that part. But what's up, Nader Raider? So the fact that health is the commodity you want, I don't know. I'll of course play it. I'm going to play it, but I have a feeling they're going to tune that. I just have a feeling they're going to, because they want everyone to jump in these activities and play them. We'll just have to see. But I was just curious what you thought, Kingsley, since we're on the topic of this week.
I've had my prediction this will be the best of the 3 episodes, but I'm even like, I still think it will, but only by a little bit. I'm even a little concerned now, watching the stream. I mean, what can they really do? It's, again, with how many employees they have now and everything like that. But hopefully it'll be okay.
All right.
I'm excited to check it out, though. That's for sure.
Well, let's get into our first topic, and Kingsleymac will be up right after this.
Hello, everybody. You are listening to Jealous Gaming on Guardian Downcast.
All right, Kingsleymac, you are up first. What'd you bring to the table tonight, sir?
Yeah, tonight's topic is going to be, I'm expanding it a little bit. It's going to be on AI in general, but more specifically at first about, has anyone heard the news about a new AI contender called DeepSeek? This actually came out earlier in the week, and it's basically a Chinese AI DeepSeek jolts Silicon Valley, giving the AI race its Sputnik moment. All right. Anyone heard about this yet?
I've heard. I heard about DeepSeek earlier this week.
Yeah. So basically, what's going on here is this kind of appeared out of nowhere. I mean, I'm sure some people were aware it was being worked on, and it's in the app stores, and it's already the #1 app store app. And basically, when this came out, also NVIDIA's stock tanked, huge amount, and I'll explain more why in a second. And then Microsoft went down a bunch. Some other ones went down some, because basically what they found out is that DeepSeek is already outperforming ChatGPT's models, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's more powerful right now. What they mean by this is it's outperforming what it can do with the amount of resources it's taking. So basically what's happening here is this model was released and supposedly was only worked on for like 6 months or something like that. And it was more of like an open source project being worked on also. And it has the ability to match the responsiveness or even exceed by a little bit of a slightly older Chat GPT model, but it can do this with like 1/10 of the resources. So that right there is one of the reasons why NVIDIA stock went down big time, because all of a sudden, in the US, we're developing all these cool Chat GPT models, OpenAI models. NVIDIA is a big player because they have all these super powerful GPUs and stuff to do these server farms for all this stuff. Well, this little scrappy company comes along and releases another model that uses like 1/10 of the resources. People can they were saying people were having like stripped down versions that they were loading on personal computers that were having pretty good success. So everyone's like, how did this happen, right? How did this happen? Another reason why stock went down a lot is because if it's matching this performance and it's more of an open source model, because they're not charging anything for it. Now, that could change down the road, or other companies could. But even though as consumers, we may see a lot of parts of ChatGPT, OpenAI, things like that as free, it's pretty limited. And businesses are what pay for these things, like Microsoft's Copilot, businesses that pay for ChatGPT. Like, everyone is actually in the AI economy for making money. This isn't just for the good of people's hearts. All the companies in the US that have been doing AI so far are out to make money. So that's another reason why their stock went down tons, because this other model came out and it's going to be totally free for everyone, even in quote business use.
Wow.
Yeah. Couple more details about it is what's happening is they're using something called distillation, so that this model can learn and stuff from other models like OpenAI, ChatGPT type models, and just like learn the most important parts. It's like a master teaching an apprentice. Just like if you want to get them jump started on something, like to do some thing, you teach them. You have the experience to know, to tell them this is the most important thing at first. This is the most important thing. You'll be able to do an 80% great job with this. And that person didn't have to go to like 10 years of schooling. And of course, they don't have all the experience yet, but that gets them a big jump start. And then they don't have to spend as much time learning as the other models that have already been around. It only took them 2 months to build and less than 6 million. And the U.S. economy has been spending billions and billions in other things. Yeah. So that's why they're saying it's like a Sputnik moment, because all of a sudden the U.S. can't be just like, oh, we have the best models and everything, and just always count on that. Now, this isn't necessarily going to be taking over the world yet, but it's just showing that I think we have to have more acceptability that it may not always be, OpenAI stuff in the future is just going to be the big companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, Google, Meta, things like that. And people have to pay money for it if they want the pro version. We could be in a spot where these little scrappy companies start coming along, even in the US, that have pretty much as good of performance, maybe just a little bit less, and they are totally free or super cheap in business use. Again, totally free for consumers in any mode. And then businesses. Think about like when, this is a perfect example, like when, in the 70s and 80s, and all there were mainframe computers, and they were a lot better. But then guess what came to the market? Personal computers. And no one was expecting that. And all the big companies like IBM and everyone like, oh man, don't use them. They're not as good. But then they're also scared because like the average consumer can buy a PC for a lot less money. And even though PCs are never as good as mainframes or servers, they've taken over the world, right? So I think the companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, all these companies really are taking a hard look now on what they need to do to stay competitive, and they can't just rest on their laurels that, oh, we're the only ones that have a good model, and we're always going to charge for it. And again, that's why all these stocks went down. A couple other things, and I'm just curious what you guys think or having experiences with this. Remember I was mentioning earlier how they're using something called distillation, where this can learn on other models like OpenAI. Well, OpenAI says that's not allowed, and they're already working to close that off or sue the company. But I think that's very scummy, because OpenAI models have always used other people to learn their stuff.
Yep.
Like there's stories of them scouring like newspaper articles and trying to get that information, even though they weren't allowed, like the behind the paywalls and stuff. And there's stories of these AI chat GPT systems that will scour websites that there's supposed to be a key you can turn on in the robots.txt HTML code that says AI models can't scour my websites, but there's proof that people are showing every day that these AI models are crawling everyone's websites and ignoring these things and basically stealing information that you don't want them to have if you have the right to have that information proprietary. And not only that, but they're slowing, because, if someone's like hosting a website and they're used to a certain amount of users, and, you got to pay for web services, like how much you use, but all of a sudden all these AI web crawlers are coming along and hitting your website, and you're having to pay like a much bigger server bill now for like these robots. Like you don't want them on your website. So that's a whole nother topic too. There's like supposedly malware coming out, and people are finding ways to fight the AI models because they're just messing up web servers everywhere and stealing information. So I think OpenAI needs to figure that out too. That's kind of bizarre for them to say, hey, you stole our stuff, but then they're stealing stuff all the time themselves. And then the last thing I was going to say is just my little thing again. This is still just large language models. We're not necessarily any closer to like sentient AI stuff that people worry about, like in the movies. It's not like robots are taking us over or anything.
Not Terminator.
Yeah. But also, I have a personal opinion that I'll mention again, that I feel like when stuff is made, especially images, like someone makes like an AI generated image, I feel like there should always be a tag on that says generated by AI or whatever. Some people say like, why? Who cares? Like, well, I think it really kind of helps. It's information, first of all, and it's never bad to have information, but also in case things are stealing from other artists in the world. And it's good to know what's human created and what's AI created. It's not a big deal to have a tag on it. I think the world needs to come up with some laws that say just have tags on stuff if it's AI generated, please. Oh, yeah. That's just my opinion.
It's just like scrolling through like Facebook and the reels, and you'll see these sharks and stuff. And it's like somebody standing in the water, and it's like, look at this shark at that. I'm like, really? Do you think that person's standing up in an ocean? Yeah. One, that's not possible.
Because you get a lot of misinformation.
If you know it's AI, and then you'll go read the comments, and people are like, oh my God. I'm like, guys, this is AI generated.
Yeah. And not that humans are perfect with misinformation either, but at least with AI stuff, it should be easy to be like, okay, well, this is AI generated, tag on it,
You can usually tell by watching, like, if something bites at something, and watch how it kind of, like, it'll grow an extra row of teeth as it's biting, or it'll just completely miss, or it distorts the picture somehow.
Yeah,
it's like,
but if
that's not real.
When they get better, that'll be even more important, because it'll be kind of nice to know what was AI generated versus what's not. But yeah, that was just kind of my topic. DeepSeek, it's something that, rightly so, the stocks went down on, and we just have to put more effort into it. And I could really see a time where we get more democratization of like the ones we have here, like the co-pilots and the things. They're going to have to compete against these free models and maybe lower their prices in the business use.
Yeah. You guys have anything you want to add? RNG, still zealot?
Well, I mean, also it could come down to your company too, allowing you to use it, because companies can block the app. Like on your work phone and stuff, they can block you from downloading the app and having the chance to.
Of course, yeah.
I have I've not been a big user of AI. I've toyed with it. When it first came out, the apps came out on Apple. You know, I tried, I was actually impressed. It made, using my photos in my phone, it made, some pretty cool avatars, which I kept a few of them. But, they give you all kinds of different looks, different views, different scenarios, whatever. I've even used a couple of them in, the Discord from time to time years ago. But, I've made the art makers, if you have the right prompts, can, really are impressive. And it really, it scares me because my daughter is an artist. My daughter is a graphic artist. She's trying to start her own business. She's trying to freelance now, and she's up against this, AI and all of that. And she went to school and she's got really good natural talent. And, she went to art school, got her graphic arts degree and stuff. I mean, she does a lot of projects for businesses and stuff right now, but I think I used it 1 or 2 times to make outlines for shows I'm trying to think about putting together. Like I need some ideas for, I'll say, give me an outline for why Destiny, I don't know, just throwing something out there, like why Destiny, the game, might do better in the future or something. It'll just spit stuff out, and half of it's like so dated. It's like from 2014. It's like, and so I'd have to go through, and once I went through and had to correct all the bad data, I said, man, I could have just written one already by now. So it has a ways to go. In fact, podcasting is incorporating a lot of your podcast servers or a lot of your podcast hosts. I'm still using Libsyn, but I'm switching over to Captivate soon. They have a lot of AI generated stuff in there that I can use, and for less money. And they're able to put timestamps automatically. Because someone mentioned in the past that they want a timestamp so they can jump around in the different segments of the show depending on how much time they have, because our shows run over 2 hours. So that is where I think AI is going to be great as like an assistant to help us in our lives and make our lives a little easier. It's a little quality of life bump. But my problem is as we get comfortable using it, and it's like everything, we use it enough and it gives us enough value, we forget all the things it can do that might kill us. It might destroy the earth. Like when our defense systems start incorporating AI, that's when I'm going to be scared. That's when I'll be scared. When our defense departments are running simulations using AI, seeing if they made the first move, it's just like war games back in the 80s, where the two computers were running simulations against each other, but we didn't know it was just a game. We thought it was real. That was some scary stuff back in the 80s, and now here it is. We're living it. So, yeah, I'm not, just a few weeks ago, the U.S. was pounding their chest about how great and how dominant we dominate the world in AI technology. And here comes China and releases with a small team and small, resources to put it together, makes something that's running circles around our stuff already. So I can see why the stock prices dropped and the NASDAQ took a hit, that's my only fear, is that we get too comfortable using it. And then all of a sudden we're living a silo moment where we're all living in silos, So
yeah, I'll tell you on that real quick. I'm not super concerned yet because AI is just a fancy computer program, and we're already using computer programs to control our energy grids and things like that. So we still need human interaction either way. Okay. And in fact, AI might be able to fix some problems,
fail-safes
there. But as long as we have controls where, look, if we really want to get into the conversation about like, can AI get sentient? It only can if we can get to a point where, see, everything with AI, like, yes, it can learn new information by crawling the internet, but the models of how it reacts with that is always programmed by humans. So if we need a better model, and by the way, when you say the assistant stuff isn't that good, again, because consumers, we're getting an outdated free version. The paid version that companies have is better. But if you want a better version, try DeepSeek. Then you're basically having a paid version right there.
Okay.
But if AI can get to the point where we don't have to program it anymore to have a better model, like it can program itself.
Right.
And there's an and also, and it has a way to keep itself alive so that there's nothing we can do to stop it. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be robots having humans as slaves, but it could find other ways where it's like it's hidden all this stuff around the world where, again, unless we turn off the electricity everywhere in the world, there's no way to stop it. Now, it also, I believe, can't get to that point if we don't let it, because, again, the models so far, these are just fancy computer programs. So unless us as a human can come up with some idea to make a program that can reprogram itself,
that's my fear.
Then it's possible.
That's my fear.
But I don't even know if us as humans have that ability to make a program that can reprogram itself. So if we don't have that ability, it can't do it either. It has to have some kind of seed at first to be able to do that. Right now, it's just getting information. And what makes it seem scary and interesting is because it's not smarter than a human mind, but it's a million human minds put together.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of information that we like, oh, that's scary. Like, how does it know all this stuff? Mm-hmm. But yes, it has more information than a single human mind, but not necessarily more reasoning than a single human mind.
Another thing that scares me is 11 Labs, where they can actually imitate anyone's voice on Earth, and it sounds just like it.
That's just a parlor trick. Celebrities can do that too.
I think there's some celebrities who were pissed off about the AI.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not.
You remember that?
On whether they should do that or not. That's
sure.
Point,
Sure. Well, like I said, I'm cautious. I'm optimistic to see what it can do, but I'm very cautious how far. People want to be first. Competition drives stuff. They might cross the line where there's something they shouldn't have done, and they did it because they wanted to be first, or they wanted to be the dominant AI company. And yes, right now I know Google, the Google AI machine scours the internet. Google, scours the biggest search engine in the world, and we're watching the second biggest search engine in the world, by the way. Those of you watching YouTube right now, it's the second biggest search engine. And no, the rest of them don't even come close. So that worries me a little. But, I know we can go down a rabbit hole on this topic, but I'm glad you brought it up because it has been in the news. In fact, I was watching Jimmy Fallon the other night, and he had a little skit where he was talking to what's the AI we use in America all the time? ChatGPT or ChatGPT-4 or something. And he's asking it a question. And it's like, how it always asks, does that sound about right? Does that sound about right? So he was playing on that where, he was regurgitating, what I'm hearing is you're saying this. Does that sound about right? He goes, yes. And all of a sudden, deep sea, what's it called? Jumps in on the screen and says, Jimmy, you'll have to excuse ChatGPT. He's a little slow. Blah, 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 blah. It was last night's episode. If you want to go back and watch it, it was really good.
I should watch that actually. Yeah.
You would get a kick out of that. So I thought it was really funny. Anyway, good topic. Good topic, Mike. Appreciate it. Anybody else want to add anything to it?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, that means Steel Zealot is next on the block, and he has a more of a Destiny-verse story for us. So we'll get to him right after this.
Hello, Scumdeath here, your favorite uncle, and you are listening to the most heavy metal Destiny podcast on Earth, Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast! Yow!
Okay, Steel Zealot, you are up. What are you bringing to the table tonight, sir?
Alrighty, so we've been talking about the subscription model as far as fixing Destiny for bringing players back, but we haven't really talked about bringing new players. As far as the new player experience, myself, I jumped in back in Lightfall. I think it was Season of Defiance, like toward the end of it, beginning of Season of the Deep, and I went through that on my first character, and it was before they updated everything in Into the Light with Shahan and those little timeline missions. Mm-hmm. But I came across this Reddit post from 4 months ago, and it was just a picture of a conversation between these two guys. He's trying to get his friend to start playing Destiny, and he asked how it was going. And just in his reply, it was like there was a 20-minute cutscene. He was like, the audio was just atrocious. He couldn't get through the cutscene. He couldn't change his volume until he got through the cutscene. There was a tutorial with no markers. He mysteriously reached level 20, ended up meeting some random NPC for bounties, which is Shahan. People randomly shooting once he got loaded into the Cosmodrome, which it's a popular just go complete bounties. Had no idea what was going on. And he felt that it was a game where he would have to be backpacked for at least 2 years before anything really made sense. And I was like, they tried to improve the new player experience back into the light. I went through it because that was when I created my hunter and my warlock. And I was like, it's been a while. Like, I needed a refresher. So I used my girlfriend's account on my Xbox. Everything was unlocked. Like, everything was available to play except for dungeon keys. They would have had to be repurchased as far as seasonal content as well. So I was going through the whole new player experience. On the first menu open, it doesn't tell you what the objective is. It's the basic, you wake up in the Cosmodrome by your ghost, you go through, it's the whole beginning that we've all experienced. Through that entire experience, your hints pop up for maybe 2 seconds, and it's in the middle of a gun battle. And on top of that, just in that little running through the wall of the tower, you experience these like beginner enemies, but they are constantly bugging out. You're getting things that are glitching through walls. Like, it should be an experience. Like, it should be probably one of the most fine-tuned things to start the game. And it's disheartening when you have an enemy that's supposed to spawn out of the ground, and he immediately comes up, glitches through the ceiling, goes through the wall, then he comes back into your view. Over and over, it was happening during that whole beginning area. Conflicting waypoints where you'd go, you're like, okay, I'm going the right way. As soon as you hit it, it tracks behind you to the previous one. Over and over, that was happening. Finally, you get through the whole Shahan thing. You get to the tower, starts introducing you to like people in the tower. As far as we are now, we already know Amanda is gone. One of the first people they introduce you to is Amanda Holiday. Yeah. What does that go to say? She's not here anymore and has been gone for at least a year. Barely talks about Cade 6 and Uldren / Crow. There's maybe one line. Season pass access, but you have to get through the campaign. I ended up logging out, logged back in. First thing it did, loaded me into Final Shape. Not Shadowkeep, not Beyond Light, not Witch Queen, not Lightfall.
Jeez.
Straight to Final Shape.
Wow.
Even if you get through that first mission, try to go to the tower because maybe you didn't get that far. You're thinking, okay, I don't have a subclass yet. Like, you're still just on your base subclass. You go to the tower, immediately tells you, this is a linear campaign. Get back in there. Like, where the whole thing is these newer players. We just got a message from one of the newest people in our Discord. New player. I don't know what I'm doing. I need direction. What can Bungie do to fix that? Some of the few things that I've come up with is they need better tips. There are some that, they pop up at the bottom. As soon as you do it, they disappear. There's some that pop up. You push B to clear them. There are other ones that pop up right in your face and they go away immediately. Those ones are the most important and they leave the quickest. doesn't explain to you how your super works. You go through and you do the little meditation with the light the entire time. Throw a grenade. It doesn't give you enough light to even get through that. So you realize, I can shoot these too. So you're just shooting the entire time. Doesn't tell you how those build back up, why you're meditating in these little pools. They need better bug fixes for this just intro piece at the base. These are the people that you want to come and be involved in your game. You want them to love the game. Better waypoint tracking, and they need to, like, if they're going to go like wholehearted on the little timeline missions, they need at least a little, hey, here's this little tab up in the right. It'll show you the timeline. These are the missions. Didn't even give me that. And it's one of those things. It's like you want to bring back players, but the people that have played for so long, you may not be able to keep up making the content for those people. So you need to bring new people in. This is where they start. And they just, I'm sorry, this is something that I've just been passionate about as somebody who's trying to get people to play also. And it's just disheartening when we get somebody in the Discord and they just, 9 times out of 10, where do I start? Which campaign? What's going on in the story? What do you guys think?
It's funny. I was watching, I follow the GDC, the Game Developer Conference, and, they had last year's keynote speaker, and it was, the head of World of Warcraft. And I'm like, oh, I want to, that Warcraft game has gone on for almost 30 years now. I didn't even know that. World of Warcraft is like 2004, I think is what I read. But they talked about the stages of their game, and it was very reminiscent of how Destiny, how Bungie laid out their expansions over the years. And they had the same up and down player retention. Everyone comes in to play the new stuff. They bring friends or get back together with their groups, play the new content together, and then they disappear and go play something. But they always came back. But what they did, I can't remember the exact date. I want to say it was 2020. Anyway, they brought back WoW Classic, which basically they had 2 different player bases playing the game at the same time. They had the WoW Classic for all the people who had always wanted to jump in but felt like they were behind or wouldn't know where to start. And they brought back a whole new version of World of Warcraft where people could jump right in and play from the beginning. And for those that are nostalgic, can come back and play it again, get some member berries. That's what Destiny needs to do. That's what Bungie needs to do. They need to bring back, first, and Kingsley and I have talked about this over the last 3 or 4 shows. If they do not unlock at least Red War minimum, then I don't see how they can create a really decent new player campaign for new players to even try this game and get into it. And we've talked about the every time you log in, it goes to a different screen. That's a big problem too. And then all the glitching and stuff you talked about. Allocate was saying that Bungie was part of Activision Blizzard, who is basically, who basically has started World of Warcraft. Sometimes I kind of wish they were still with them these days. But Bungie has, if they plan on this game to last, they have to figure out how to bring players back, and they have to put them in a linear story where people that don't know anything about Destiny can come in and play Destiny 2 just like we did with Red War. And until they do that, I don't see how they can get anybody caught up on what's happening. And did you watch the 5-minute video, Steel Zealot? Like the 5-minute catch-up video at the beginning?
I did.
What do you think of that?
It was basically just a catch-up video of, oh, we know who the witness is. He's on our doorstep. It's basically just a kick-up video of like, oh, doesn't matter about Shadowkeep, doesn't matter about Witch Queen, doesn't matter about Beyond Light. It's just like, this is what's going on now.
Yeah.
Here's the TLDR, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Kingsley, you want to add?
Yeah. Yeah, I will very specifically answer the question too, on like what I think they can do. I mean, I'll just have a little bit of background first too. I don't think it's going to be enough just to bring the Red War back, because a little bit of personal experience here. I had a lot of, now I admit it's worse these days, but even when I jumped into Destiny 1 year 2 after taking King, a lot of the things you were mentioning, I was confused about too, like the grenade thing. I remember it didn't, I don't remember it saying you had to like have the bar fill up first and things like that. And I was really confused too, but I just kind of pushed through it. So I think it's more than just bringing Red War back, because people even got confused a long time ago. Now it's not an excuse saying that there's nothing they can do. I think a 2-part strategy could actually fix this. First part, I'll talk about from what we currently have first, and then I'll talk about new stuff in a second. But they do need to fix a lot of current stuff that'll help the new player experience too. Like when you mention the arrows pointing the wrong way and enemies in the walls, that happens all the time anyways.
It does.
If they can fix stuff like that, that'll make the new player experience better, and us players that stick around, so we'll want to stick around more too. So they need to fix more things. And then on the new player side, they need to start a team where, now all this is practical, I don't know, but create a team, even if it's a temporary team. Remember when they had that the Crucible team temporarily or whatever? I don't know the details, but a team that works with and even pays people to play the game that have never played the game before, and work on something with getting input from them, and then build it into a better new player experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's where some of the chat is talking about Warframe has a lot of the same problem. And Warframe, if you remember, came out at the very same time that Destiny did, 2014. Yeah, I'll stand by my earlier comments. They have to start by bringing that initial story of Destiny 2 back. I don't know if it's a licensing issue with whoever owned them, or the fact that someone came forward saying it was based on something they wrote, which I think he lost that lawsuit. But I looked at the comparisons. I was like, man, that sci-fi can overlap so much these days, because a lot of it, a lot of it is based on a lot of the same things that we know as humans about aliens and stuff. But yeah, you're preaching to the choir, because I actually got I have multiple accounts. I started a new account and ran through the new player experience, and it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I don't know how. I mean, Bungie has so many irons in the fire right now, and I'm going to kind of talk about that later, but in my topic. But yeah, I don't. Kingsley had some good points. I don't know if there's much I can really add to what he said, because the reason I like the subscription model, and I'm not going to beat that drum again. I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, but it gives players an easy way to just pay a monthly fee and jump in and play all the content. Just play all the content. Open it all up. Open Forsaken. Bring Forsaken back. Let them experience what happened to Cade. Man, that campaign was so good. You don't have to bring back all the little seasonal stuff that was in there. You have to be there at the time to enjoy the seasonal, stuff that you got. But bring back the stories. Bring back the campaigns. And it just makes sense. I just don't understand. Something that we paid for is now no longer there. So how do you expect new players to jump in and know what to do? So I think big giant RPG MMOs, I think they all have this problem, because their worlds get so big that it's hard to bring in someone who's never done it before to get them caught up to the player who's been playing it for years and years. So, I mean, we're talking about Warframe has the same issue. Some of our communities start trying to play it, and says it's really tough to, I think that was Tut. King Tut said, that it's been really hard to figure out what to do. And, so, Warframe has got a steady player base, and they're doing something right because they have not had a drop in players. Their player base their graph is very boring. It's very flat because nobody ever leaves. They just keep playing the game. That's what Bungie they need to figure out that. So, Chet, do you have anything you want to add to the new player experience?
It sucks.
I mean, it sucks. Yeah. I remember trying it when just for the heck of it, tried it. I'm like, this is confusing. And I mean, somebody who had played it for 10 years, knowing what to do is still, I'm like, a new player, I don't want to walk a new player through this. It's going to be, it's just not fun. It's just going to be a drag for both people trying to explain it and drag them. Yeah. They need to revamp it big time to make it where you can just come in and play. They need to make all the stuff available. That's what they need to do, and just let you play through it, what you want.
I mean, and Fudd will love me for saying this, but they got to bring back the Leviathan raid. They need to bring back all the old raids of Destiny 2.
Well, I'm not saying bring the raids back, but I mean, they could be part of it, but the story-wise is the main thing.
Gator, follow me here. They need to bring Leviathan back, right?
But they can bring the raids back.
Content back.
But they got to bring the stories back.
Of course. I was
quit pandering to Fudd.
I can't help it. I love the man. I love the man too much. Yeah.
But no, they need to bring the story back to lead into the raids, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then and then along with that, have a new player experience and fix bugs that would affect the new player experience.
Exactly.
Right.
Actually have a team that's a quality control team.
Yep.
Right.
That they got rid of.
Forever.
Yeah, that's why I said that. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, King Tut was saying right here in chat, he said Warframe right now has double the player count as Destiny 2, and it's been that way for a while. Destiny 2 clearly needs to change something. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. We've talked about this in the past, and it's a good topic, Steel Zealot. I mean, it's never something we can't ever talk about because it's a glaring problem with this game. And at least other games, their tutorials at least make sense. But from what you're telling me, it's pretty bad now. I haven't played.
It makes no sense. You've tried it.
I know about the game. I've played the game for 11 years now, and I'm like, how would someone even know? Yeah. So it's right. Allocate's right. It needs a total overhaul. And explain what the Guardian is outside of combat. Yes, I agree. And Kingsley, you remember many, 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 many twabs ago when they were talking about Sony's acquisition and stuff, they were trying to communicate what they were planning on doing going into the new year. I could have sworn that they said something about improving the brand. Do you remember that conversation? They were going to
but just saying that's pretty vague. Brand can even mean like marketing and TV shows and movies.
Well, no, they also mentioned new player and how to get new players into the game. They did mention that already. So maybe they've got something they're already working on.
That's when Luke Smith was still there, and he was like, we're going to revamp it. I'm like, okay, and?
Yeah, but all those people,
all those people are gone. I think that probably
right now with having less employees.
Yeah. And Magic Mike, that's why we said they'd have to unvault all the old stories. They have to do that. I mean, that goes without saying.
And then the next step is they have to have more employees, and the next step is they got to have more studios. And so,
exactly.
It amazes me all the money and talent and time they spent to make that content, and only to take it out of the game. It just boggles my mind why they would take it out. And don't give me some bullshit. It's past 30 seconds. Don't give me some bullshit about engines not being able to handle it and stuff. Give me a break. You keep adding to the engine every season. Don't give me that. I'm not believing that. I think there's something that we don't know about on the inside, why they took all that stuff out.
We've explained it before, but you don't remember.
We don't.
It's not just that. It's a more nuanced version of that. But
yeah. I mean, I remember when they revamped the engine, they said the lighting was different, and remember they said the lighting was a little brighter in Nessus, and they had done a few tweaks here and there on stuff. I don't know. I'm not.
Look, guys, I'm just saying, if we could get a Destiny 3, and if they actually did it right this time, the engine would be better, and so they can't use any excuse for taking stuff out, and they can make a new player experience better too.
I agree, but that's 3 to 5 years away, and
never right now,
or never. or never. Yeah.
Or you just can the game and.
I'm just saying that for one more reason why we should have been having a Destiny 3.
Yeah. Allocate. World of War have changed the entire new player launch many times, but it is consistent about walking you through new skills, how to equip items and spells, along with a Horde and Alliance conflict. Yeah. And I know RNGGator plays a lot of World of Warcraft. And
she's right.
Mo said, before I was on the who cares about old stuff, but seeing other MMORPG players say it's ludicrous to take stuff out you paid for and get it more. It's the only game I know of that they've done that. I haven't played a lot of games, let's be honest, but
no, it's not the only game, but not a lot others do. And I still think, part of it, a lot of it was they just didn't have the resources to keep up with all the old content. Yeah. But like 20% of it was the way their engine is compared to other game engines. Yeah. It is a lot more worse and outdated. So
it is.
It does kind of almost make it impossible to keep all the old stuff and continually add new stuff. Right now, they're taking away old stuff and then adding new stuff. So we're at more of a status quo. But I'm not saying that's right. Yeah. But that's
drop the old consoles.
One small reason why. It's not the only reason why.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to keep going on this subject, and I know our chat's going crazy with all kinds of comments on it. So that means it's a good story, Steel Zealot. We have to move on to our next topic. Before we get to our next topic, though, we do want to go through the TWAB this week because it is the last TWAB before Heresy. So we do need to go over some important things that we are going to have before Heresy drops, probably tomorrow if you're listening to this audio version. So we'll be right back, get into that, and then we have 2 topics after that. We'll get it done. Be right back, guys. Hey, just a quick reminder that we have several Destiny 2 clans, and we invite all of you to be a part of it. If you're looking for a home to share your Destiny experiences, now'd be a great time to jump in and get to know some of these great gamers. We're here for the community and friends you make along the way, and no hardcore restrictions. And enjoy what time you have for Destiny is all we ask. So if you're looking for a clan out there, join our Discord. That's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast, and just reach out to a mod, and we'll open the door for you. So join us, and later, Guardian. All right, this week in Destiny for January 30th, 2025. Where the hell has January gone? It's just come and gone. It's out of here. There's a lot of things they talk about in the TWAB this week. We are just going to go over the highlights and stuff that we didn't mention from last week. We did kind of talk about our impressions of the developer live stream that came out. I'm going to share the screen here for you guys. But everyone, of course, we found out during the developer live stream that, Star Wars crossover. Hopefully you can see the screen as fast as I can, because I got it on low latency, Kingsley. So hopefully you can see it quick enough.
Or it's in the Discord if you haven't seen it yet.
There you go.
Or just look it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Can anyone say that this isn't amazing? What they did with this?
I got to tell you, of all of them, I like the Hunter the best. I love the Elite Guard, the Elite Stormtroopers. You know, they'd be in those what do they call them? Not the X-Wings, what are they called? The ones that are well. Anyway.
TIE fighters?
No. Not the TIE fighters, but they had the ones that were modified for like the elite pilots. I think that's what that one looks like on the left, the Hunter version of it. Let's see, they call it Royal Guards. Those are the red ones.
Imperial Guard is the red one.
Imperial Guard, yeah. Okay, so the Royal Guards would be the one that the Hunter's wearing.
Death Trooper is the other one.
Yeah, got you.
Anyways, my point was like they made them look almost perfect Star Wars-ish, yet still working with Destiny.
You can still see the Destiny in it. Yeah.
Yeah, but barely. Like the Stormtrooper barely looks like a Titan. Not really.
That's pretty
kind of.
That's pretty spot on. That's pretty spot on. The others I can see. I can see a little Destiny, but the Stormtroopers I can see
a little bit more on the other ones, but also the point is like it's Star Wars enough that no one who even would consider playing Destiny and even consider liking Star Wars a little bit would think like they did a bad job with this.
Yeah, and JD Kent makes a good point. He says, why no Rebel skins? I agree. Or why not Darth Vader? Why not Luke Skywalker? How about Han Solo? You know, it's all like the dark side here. Maybe they're going to come out with another version. Maybe.
Why not? I mean, limited resources.
There's the ship right behind it all. Duh. Okay. Sorry.
But this is a pretty good starting point. I would love to see a Jedi side too, or other things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even for their paid money making stuff, they have limited resources. So,
I mean, they're going to make a crap ton of money on this, but Disney's going to want their piece. So I think it's a good thing. It's good for morale with, I think it's good for morale for Destiny right now. Cause I love Star Wars. If they made a Destiny Star Wars that felt like a Destiny game, I'd be playing it tomorrow because I love Star Wars. Anyway, I played a lot of Battlefront. I love Battlefront. The new activity, the Nether, we talked about that kind of. It's a 3-player activity and it's based on health. So when you die, you die unless you go, some people mentioned a long time ago. That is Vader's ship, KJ. Yeah, that's right. They did mention, some people in the chat actually mentioned if you have, your class-based mods where you pick up an orb of light, you get health and stuff. I'm sure that's going to apply. So, better already, things like that.
Plus your teammates can revive you.
Yeah,
it's not like you die and you're out of the thing.
You're right.
And then of course there will be other things you can pick up to get health. And then boons, we didn't mention, but the boons that after every little stage. Yep. That's kind of like Season of the Deep where you could pick, this to me is at least slightly more interesting than the tonic system, right?
Someone said something about health tonics. I said, wait a minute. We're done with tonics, right? We don't have to see tonics ever again, right? Someone said health tonics.
They'll still be active.
They'll be around, yeah. Ugh. You don't have to use them. People weren't anyways, hardly.
Yeah. Even if I unlocked a health tonic, the time I would need it, it would say, well, it already expired. I'm like, all right, fine, I'm out. Yeah, exactly. So the legendary weapons, let me look at these weapons, guys. A new sword. Then that's the auto rifle that I told you that has the health. It's the health regenerating model like you can get in the Pale Heart. There's a rocket launcher that I think does like electrical. It's like a area denial frame, but it has like electrical explosions or something in it, and it shoots a multiple of them. I think it's a 3-shot.
Yeah, I mean, think about like Wither Horde, but instead it's like electricity on the ground. Yeah. And just kind of like all these little sparky looking electricity things on the ground.
That's gonna be fun. And
like they're Vex pool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of what it looks like.
Radial area. Yeah, kind of like radial area. Yeah. I like the skins on them. I like how this is kind of the theme of this heresy is like where the dreadnought is kind of peeling back and you're seeing like the bones of it. That's what you kind of see with the guns here. And they also said they're going to have the new heretical sets, right, Kingsley, where you're going to have double perk reward, double perks like they did with the bright shiny weapons
and adept versions too. And from what I understand, we'll know more as this comes out. But again, they told us that the majority of stuff will be released on day one. But we're going to hope keeping people coming back week by week is better versions of the weapons each week. Yeah. So the way I understand that, what they would probably do is you can unlock or have a better chance at more perks the next week. Maybe it won't be like that, or maybe the adept ones will open up on week 3 or 4. I don't know. But they said something about better versions of the weapons in subsequent weeks.
Yeah, JD Kent, better already in recuperation mods. Yep. I have them equipped all the time anyway. It's like part of my kit on my legs and my class item. Yeah. I didn't see much about the linear fusion rifle there. I didn't see much about that. I'll have to just discover it, I guess. The Season of Arrivals set is coming back. This is where I talked about the pulse rifle, the heavy burst, not heavy burst, the aggressive, heavy burst, pulse rifle. I got some really good rolls of this from Season of Arrivals. Gee whiz, Arrivals. It seems like so long ago, doesn't it? And the 380 auto rifle, I had a lot of fun with that auto rifle too. And the fusion rifle was garbage. Yep. Caster frame sword. It looks like you got a new bow. Looks like you could whack someone with it. You wouldn't even need the arrows. Yep. I'm just not a bow fan. Sorry. Give me my space weapons. Reprise Vault of Glass. You're going to be able to craft your Vault of Glass weapons. Those are these right here, which I'm not as excited about. I'm more excited about getting the red bars for the the last raid they revised.
Garden of
Garden of Salvation. Thank you. Yeah.
And how come I never see you in it?
You got to send me an invite. Say, hey, we're putting a group together tonight. Come on. You got to twist my arm
I'll
a little.
set one up.
Say, come on, man. You know you want that fusion rifle crafted. I'm like, yeah, I do. Because for me, you know how to get to me, man.
I need to be your personal assistant.
It's all about weapons for me. Show me the weapons. Show me the weapon, not the money. Trials of Osiris gear. We talked about this last week. The Titan, I think, wins here. I'd say a close second is the Hunter. And Trials of Osiris, guys, you got to try it. 7 wins. Win or loss, that's all you got to get. 7 wins to go to the lighthouse now. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this Barrow Dyad, look at this funky looking submachine gun. This thing is crazy, man. I can't wait to try this.
I know we don't care about weight in this game, but can you imagine if we did? This is the heavy looking SMG.
It reminds me of the Ron Raid sidearms, that have like a big metal piece on the front, like fingers coming out. It kind of reminds me of that. That's why I thought it was a sidearm at first when I saw it, but I must not have been paying attention when they showed this in the live stream, if they did. But I don't know when we're going to get this. They don't say. I don't know. We'll have to figure out. And I talked about the Lodestar already. This is a primary ammo trace rifle. And it's the only reason I don't use trace rifles. I love the sound of them. I mean, it's a laser gun, guys. Come on. But you have unlimited ammo now. So I will definitely be trying this. And like I said, it'll be the first thing you unlock on your season pass for Act 1 of Heresy. I'm already thinking of that movie.
I'm excited to try this one too. And it may be lame, but I definitely want to check it out.
And the fact you aim down the sights, it becomes a 3-burst pulse rifle. That just excites me. I love how they're leaning into the pulse rifle.
It's supposed to be a trace rifle.
Okay. The power of the Tablet of Ruin. This, I guess, is our seasonal artifact. You want to talk about this, Kingsley? The new artifact coming?
Yeah, but I'm not reading all the perks.
No, just the highlights. Yeah, this is our artifact.
So, basically, the Tablet of Ruin, the Hive and the Dread aren't going to go quietly, so heavy and special weapons are picking up anti-champion capabilities for the episode, with future acts authorizing future options. And again, we kind of knew, but the elemental focus will be around Arc, but also Drand and Prismatic with a healthy sprinkling of Void. So we have the Bolt Charge, and they wanted to boost all the Arc stuff. And then basically let's see what else here. The Act 1 mods key heavily off of debuffing our foes and limiting their strength in opposing the Vanguard's forces, including via the introduction of a new keyword called Exhaust, similar to the introduction of a keyword Construct with the perk Deconstruct in Season of the Wish.
Okay.
So, just another little debuff that we can use on our foes. And there's a bunch of perks here. You can look at them in the TWID.
Yep.
Hopefully this one will be pretty cool.
Slowly scrolling through them here as people can screenshot it or go to the TWAB or whatever and look at it. Overload machine gun. That's probably my favorite because overload champions are such a pain in the butt. Yeah.
There's like Thunderlord already and stuff, but machine guns. And then
piercing sidearms. You
could do anti-barrier sniper rifles.
No, just use a sidearm.
And then
he went right past it. Didn't give me any credit. All right. My point is bring a sidearm into a raid, guys.
Honestly, sniper for anti-barrier is way better than a sidearm on the higher levels because you don't want to be right up in their face with a sidearm.
I know.
Anyways.
Give me my sidearm. Yeah. Let's see. Unstoppable glaive. There you go, Kent. There you go. There's your glaive. Good luck. Hope it doesn't stomp you by the time you make him by the time you stun him. Yeah.
On easier modes, you could definitely use sidearms too for anti-barriers.
And they have new weapon mods coming. This is exciting. New weapon mods coming to Heresy. We have Power Resolve. Rapid hits with this weapon create a Taken Seeker projectile. Strong against unstoppable champions. Okay. That's something. Yeah. It's a bit like the Fragile mods, giving more potent and thematic effects for new season weapons. Okay. Good. All right. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure.
Now, remind me, because I tend to forget with the new weapon mod system, because, they took a bunch away and revamped it and stuff, but is this a temporary weapon mod, or will we keep it?
No, it's additive. Anytime they add weapon mods to the, and usually the new weapon mods, I can just tell you, the ones they brought back, you do have to enhance the weapon at least the first step in order to unlock them. So, there's like a weapon mod in there that gives you.
We're not getting this season, this episode.
Yeah. Right.
So they must let us use it right away, I would assume.
Yeah. But in most of these new mods, you have to, like the ones that take some of your zoom off and stuff that they added in that last episode, they won't let you use those until you at least enhance the first node of the weapon. So.
Oh, do you think they'll do a thing, because we're not having craftable weapons? Do you think they'll do a thing where we have to enhance the weapon?
At least one node, just the initial mode where you can start getting kills and getting up the levels on it, and then unlock the other modes.
But we're not having craftable on these new weapons.
No, that's what I'm saying. And I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Not, how you can enhance weapons now. You don't have to craft them. You can just get enhanced perks on them. Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to do the first step. Yeah. We have to pay like, I don't know, 11 enhancement cores and like 5,000 glimmer, I think, to unlock the first level. Something like that. Don't hold me to it, but it's something like that. You want to mention the dungeon race again here, Kingsley? I know that's something you're going to get into.
Really? We already talked about it.
Yeah, we did. That's right. Yeah. Check in with CB Gray and Evan F's 1997. They're going to have like a dungeon zone stream.
This is like a total repeat from last week's Twit also.
Yep. And there's the emblem. If you get through the contest mode. Yep. Okay. Gloaming Dark emblem available for opted in Twitch channels. Okay. If you watch the Twitch channels that are covering it, you'll get that emblem. Certain amount of time, I'm sure you need to watch it. The heretical halation emblem, that looks really nice. That's a new Twitch sub drop for your Destiny streamers on Twitch. Trophies for the victors. They did show they were going to show the trophies.
So
there they are, the trophies. Yeah, for all winning teams of Sundering Doctrine Dungeon Race, we got something a little special. Our first ever Dungeon Race trophies. All will make sense once you delve into the pyramid, because they're probably wondering, what the heck is this thing? Yeah, looks like some kind of portal to me. So, yeah. Okay, I like that. That's something you can put like on your bookshelf behind you here. Not that it'll ever happen to me, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's better than belts are just hard to show off. You got to hang them on a wall or something somewhere, and they're not the easiest things to show off. Heresy voiceover update in a few short days.
This is really sad news here. Yeah.
Heresy will be going live with this being out. Our final epilogue entry for our teams have been taking great care to deliver delightful narrative beats and story content for players to enjoy. Due to the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike, you may notice certain voice lines being silent in game. However, we have enabled subtitles by default for this release to ensure players do not miss any narrative content. Within your gameplay settings, we offer a variety of customization options for subtitles to help. There's all kinds of ways you can print subtitles. I don't need to go through that. You can alter their size and background and color and all that stuff. Heresy activities that have missing voice acting will display a warning before launching those activities. It'll just let you know that you might have to have your subtitles on if you want to hear all the story points. Fire Team Finder mobile updates. Anything that we need to worry about, Kingsley?
No, they're just adding a bunch as usual. I made a comment. I think it was on this show too. I know I at least did on TGH, but I've always been impressed with how much work they've actually put into the Fireteam Finder, consistently making it better, way more than I thought they would have. I thought they would go months and months and months at a time and then do a small token update, Gambit or something, here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
But now obviously this is a lot easier to code than a game, so that's probably why they're able to do it. This is just web backend stuff and an app that they already have, but they're keeping it up to date. And now they're even having better browsing with features like you can have you can say if you want to prefer groups that welcome newbies, you can filter for all that in one place. You can have an online only versus an allow offline mode.
Like that.
It just means with online only, you need to be in game to join. but offline mode means you could join ahead of time.
Okay.
Top level categories, just a little bit easier to deal with. You can filter top level categories, browse things a little bit better, and a new clan tab. So it makes it a little bit easier there to join up with people. I guess if you were to kind of do instead of in the Discord, we still think the Discord's the best way, people. But if you want to check this out, you can go into the there and create a listing within the clan.
Okay.
And they say that this is all pretty much going to be in the app. They're aiming to bring those improvements to the web-based one too, but they're just bringing it to the app at first.
Okay. They talk about the Bungie rewards for Slayer Baron title, the jacket and the pins and stuff like that. We've already talked about that. The Slayer Baron title pin, there it is. Crucible Legends sweatshirt. Reset your Crucible reputation rank with Lord Shaxx in the tower by Destiny 2 by May 6th. And this will be available as a Bungie reward. That's pretty nice. I love Crucible emblems. I love the double-headed eagle. It's just really cool.
Sorry. And they're repeating stuff again.
Yeah, a lot of repetitive stuff here. The 3D thing, the Slayer's Fang 3D, the 10, what is it? The 10 plate, the disc plate, sorry. The disc plate poster they talked about already. Quantum Entanglement emblem. This is for which you'll receive gift of making purchase at the Bungie store. That's very nice.
That's cool. That's newer. Yeah.
I love the emblems they give out. I try to buy something from the Bungie store just to get those. They're now on Blue Sky. You can follow them on Blue Sky now.
They have been a little bit, but they're just kind of promoting it now. And they have a few different accounts that they're just telling us about. And then they're also letting you know that they can still be found X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Discord, YouTube, and TikTok.
There you go. I'm in their Discord. Cool.
So they're pretty much everywhere.
Game to Give, still going strong. They've got a lot of great, there's a little video you can watch there of the, where Heart Hero Hudson visits Bungie Studio and the Bungie Foundation. That's pretty cool. I love when they do stuff like that. It's so touching when they take care of especially kids. Pick up the Maximum Heart emote today. That's from Game to Give as well. They have a live stream coming February 6th. That'll be next week. There'll be some emblems you can get there. I'm just kind of scrolling through it fast here. One more round. Destiny 2 fashion feedback. We're definitely not going through this, but these are all concept art descriptions, and you can vote on these and tell them which one you think looks better out of all these, which one gets you excited. So you can go through that on that. The Destiny 2 Scorgan winners. This is where people made their own songs, right? On the Scorgan. Yeah. There you can check that as well. That who won that on that. Bungie.net. And player support report. Anything we need to talk about here, Kingsley?
Well, yeah, it's actually pretty interesting, this Memento update thing, which isn't necessarily a bug that they're talking about, but improvement that they're going to be doing. Well, it was kind of a bug, but what they are improving things to on how you can get it. So they're implementing a fix for the Memento from Salvation's Edge.
Okay.
And but also they're going to be changing how they can even be acquired, and it's going to be a lot easier. And Excellent. Salvation's Edge and Garden of Salvation acquisition has been changed, meaning that you only need a full clear now. So hard wipe completions are no longer required. And also it's guaranteed to drop on the first full clear if it has never been acquired yet, with a chance to drop on subsequent full clears.
Okay.
Why do you need it again if you already have it once? Or,
I don't know if I have.
I thought you could. Oh no, you can only use it once, and then you can use it again if you get another one. Sorry, I forgot that.
Oh, I don't think I ever got a Memento for Salvation's Edge. I don't remember getting one. Anyway,
because this is a new thing they're doing. So if you run Salvation Edge again, you'll now get it.
So it used to be like RNG, right? Yeah. Okay.
Something. I don't know what it was before.
Gotcha.
Also, there's a weekly class lockout, but it's farmable when featured on Rotator. And that's, again, meaning to get subsequent versions of it, I'm sure, because you get a guaranteed drop on your first time.
Gotcha.
or first time going forward, if you've already run the raid once with this new change. And then also master mode full clears follow the same rules, however, are farmable at all times, even when not on lockout.
There you go.
There you go. And a memento has been even added to Vault of Glass raid. Ooh.
Okay.
Interesting. Why did they not add that up at the top line? I'm glad I saw that.
I'll be getting that run in. Yep. Like it. Yeah, and other shit's broken.
Well, the last line. See,
right.
If you have completed Salvation's Edge prior to this update, you will get an in-game message letting you know you can pick it up at the Cryptarch.
All right, thank you. I'm glad you did read that because I was going to go run another one. Yeah, a flawless runner master completion, Fluffy Potato said. Okay, good to know. Okay, I like it. I love mementos. I think they need to do more of those. I think that's what keeps people involved. So, yep. Artist of the Week. That's really pretty. Yeah, that's really nice. You can skim our stream back or watch or look at all this on Bungie.net. I like that. Very nice art. We have very, very talented artists in our community. Yep. Okay. I believe, man, lots of art. Lots of art this week. Okay. Wow. I mean, they've got a lot of art. That's a nice rock garden. That's really cool.
I like that one.
That's really cool. Yeah. Wait a minute. Lumina made this? Do you see this?
I'm sure that's not the only Lumina.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it was our Lumina.
I should click on it and see
that's
if it
our
references.
Lumina. Via Blue Sky. Okay.
Let me see
Loxy.
here. Hold on. It could be.
Does Lumina? I didn't know he did art.
I don't know. I'll do some research.
Oh, it's Lumina with an AH at the end. So it's probably not our Lumina. Okay.
I don't see an H.
I'm looking at their link at the bottom. When you put your cursor over it, it shows their profile link, and it's Lumina.
But when I clicked on it, it's also without an H on actual Blue Sky.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll do some research and
Absolutely.
let you know.
That's good. All right. Okay. Just want to skim through these real quick. Just show everyone in stream. Drifter, Year of the Snake. It is a Year of the Snake. Chinese New Year. That's right. Wow. Really nice artwork. Very, very impressive. Man, they just posted a lot of art here. A lot of art. So, wow. Yeah. There's another movie of the week. That's everything we have for this week. Only 5 more sleeps until Heresy launches. And we can't lie to you, we're really excited for it. An excitement that feels like hunger, as if something was crawling inside and had a dark craving for tacos. Ugh. We would sell a Galahorn for taco right now. Oh no, this isn't right. We should check with our in-house feeling weird expert. Straight to the moon we go. Destiny 2 community team. Thank you, Destiny 2 community team. We always love that you communicate with us every week. So thank you for that. Thank you for Kingsley for helping me get through that. I did not have a chance to look at it today, so that's a good way to go through it. And that means we're ready for our next topic.
Hey, this is Heyoka, and when I'm not squishing Thrall, I'm listening to Guardian Downcast.
All right, RNGGator. Chet, you're up next. What do you got for us tonight, man?
I found an article about Bungie. People at Bungie wanted to make single-player games instead of more live service games or titles. Pretty much the summary is Bungie developers reportedly wanted to work on single-player games, but were shut down by the leadership. And despite, all the multiple live service PlayStation projects had been canceled, Bungie remained focused on it, and then they're still concentrating on live service gaming with new projects like because they got Marathon coming out. But what I found interesting in this article was there was a talk about something called gummy bears. I think we may have talked about that before.
It's come across.
And what it looks like in this article, they're saying that Gummy Bears is going to be a PlayStation exclusive, and bearing similarities to Super Smash Brothers with attempting something fresh on it. So, I mean, I won't be able to play it, or wouldn't have an attempt because I don't have a PlayStation. So, but because it's a MOBA title called Gummy Bears, or codename Gummy Bears.
Okay.
So, but it looked like there was a tweet here from somebody named Zuad Ali, something he heard when he was working on a story last year. A lot of Bungie devs were interested in returning to single-player projects, but leadership was firmly set on live service. Even though they were smaller, less risky projects, they got immediately shut down. So, I mean, I don't know if this was before or after they, let people go.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say. But, yeah, I mean, it just kind of caught my attention that I was like, I mean, a way for, let's say Bungie comes out with some single-player games, it'd be a way for them to make some cash flow, maybe, to help improve games like Destiny or whatever, something on the side, and they could use it to either take the single-player games, keep running with it, or put it into a live service game, or like we were talking earlier, hire people to make the live service game better.
Yeah. And I heard that
crazy that they shut them down,
Yeah, I remember, if I remember correctly, Luke Smith and Noseworthy were working on a third person.
Yeah,
Destiny
that was
game.
the one. That was one of the ones that got shut down.
Yeah,
it's in this article.
They
can't find the spot, but they shot it down.
They kind of opened up the side door of Bungie and said, "We're out. See you guys."
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what we know of.
Yeah, they shut their game down, and then pretty much their code, whatever it was called, it's in here. I just can't find that paragraph.
I got you.
They tried to pitch that, and they shut them down, and fired them pretty much, or let them go, whatever you want to say it.
I would love to be a fly on the wall right now in Sony headquarters when talking with Bungie executives. I'd really like to know where Sony is going to take Bungie. I know they're really banking on, that extraction PvP game. But
Marathon.
If Marathon flops, what's their fallback?
They're gonna be exactly. That's what I want. That's what I was telling somebody earlier. If Marathon flops, what happens then?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a good point. Like, you shouldn't have necessarily all your eggs in one basket. I mean, I know Bungie's been through times where they don't have the resources to make other games, but they kind of started some of those, and we know that the directive is to still work on Marathon. And I'd actually heard through another source recently also that I thought the Gummy Bears project was dead, but I actually heard it is coming out. So even though this game doesn't seem appealing to me at all, if it could make some money, it could be a good thing, so they don't have all their eggs in one basket.
Right.
And then, that could put more money in the pot for keeping Destiny alive and other, not like people are saying there shouldn't be any live service games, but it probably would be a good idea to have some other single player things too, because right now, even if we have the perfect Destiny and all this and that, it seems like either the free to play or the single player games have a much better chance of doing better these days than some of these other games.
It does seem like that, yeah. And the one that they canceled that you were talking about, Luke and them, was called Payback. It was a Destiny spinoff live service game that they canceled.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't get you cancel a live service game, but then say we're going to keep all our eggs in the basket for Marathon and Destiny 2 right now, but don't want to make any single player games. That I don't know. That just seems weird to me.
What was the live service game that came out that Sony sunk like $400 million into, and it lasted
Concord?
Man, I bet you Concord sent a shiver down a lot of studios around Sony when they yanked it off the market. And what's funny is Concord actually is in one of those one of those gaming series shows on Netflix. They actually talked about Concord, and I said, "Man, this is actually a pretty cool story." It's just too bad, man. That's a lot of money they sunk into that game.
And they tried to get that game off the ground. It just never stuck. I remember watching streamers trying to play it and trying to like push it of like, I'm having a great time. This is great, and I'm just I'm watching the gameplay going, you got to be flipping kidding me. I was like, you got to be flipping kidding me. I'm not having fun watching you play this, much less
Data
play it myself.
Sponsored stream. Data was playing it, and I was like,
same thing I was watching.
Hey, I mean, come on. I take the money. Take the money, Potato. Take it. He's got to pay his bills too. And, I got eyeballs on it, but even then it still didn't do anything. Yeah, I was amazed when the beta only had hundreds of players trying it. I was like, wow, how do they only have hundreds of players? I mean, a beta is free to everybody. You'd think at least 10,000, 20,000 people would jump in and play that game, but yeah. I mean, I don't know, Kingsley, could Bungie actually put together a one-player game that's just all story and discovery? I mean, they have a hard time they have a hard time having the manpower to just put cutscenes in. We're talking about cutscenes.
Yeah. I mean, look, with the marathon stuff, there's a part that was carved out for that team. So if we're going to have another game, it would be Sony would have to provide more employees or create a sub studio or something like that. It could still be called Bungie if they wanted to, just have more people working on it. They couldn't as they are right now. But you got to think of what the point too, though, is like they were working on other things like Operation Payback and stuff. And what they probably should have done is instead worked on a single player game for that. But they can still do it now if they bring more people in or some sub studio or something.
Yeah. You were going to say something, Chet? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just ain't got the team to do it now. I mean, you got to remember they did make Halo, which, I mean, yes, it had PvP, but that's a single player game, when they first made those.
Yep.
So they had the team, but that's years, many moons ago. They don't have that group now. They don't have that type of manpower to do that now.
This story was based on internal leaks that a lot of the devs in Bungie wanted to make a one-player game. Is that what your story was referring to, or?
It doesn't really say where this guy this Zood Ali guy.
He's a game journalist.
Story last year, yeah. He just came across. I guess found this out working on a story last year. It says.
Gotcha.
So I
remember hearing about that too.
It says it starts with rumors have surfaced.
I got you. So who knows where it came from?
Still, yeah. Like who he heard it from, he didn't really say. He was just informed many developers at Bungie expressed a desire to work on single player focused games instead of continuing to embrace live service. So I tried to pitch it and were shot down. So
and this is coming from a PvP Crucible player main. I wonder what Destiny would look like today if it didn't have to deal with, sorry, JD, Gambit or Crucible, any kind of multiplayer options where they could just have it where you could play cooperatively, but all PvE. They could probably go crazy on weapons and stuff. They could probably get a lot crazier, I would think.
I still think, because they still not dropped the Xbox and the PS4, right?
No.
The Xbox One.
You can still,
I still think, and I know Kingsley will probably agree with me, if they drop those consoles, there's probably more they can do with this game.
Yeah.
They could probably upgrade an engine and do more with the game.
Even if they don't upgrade the engine, they'll have more memory space on the new consoles.
I still think that's hurting them being on the older consoles.
SSD, big difference than a spinning hard drive. Yeah. And, I guess they have SSDs in them, but just not as fast.
Well, it's not just SSDs. It's the processing power. It's the memory of the consoles.
Yep.
Yep, I get it. Still Zella, you've been... I was going to ask you. You've been kind of quiet.
I was going to jump in on this for a second.
Good, man, yeah.
I'm primarily a kind of single-player, story mode type gamer. I love the Halo series, Assassin's Creed, like I've said before. I think that if they would have greenlit a single-player game, given their lineage of Destiny and Halo being kind of like their flagship games, even though they did sell Halo to 343, a story mode, single player, if not co-op campaign game that's kind of linear, it might actually do something to kind of kick him in the ass as far as income for the company to at least get something going in the future. For them to just put all their eggs in this and the next one, it kind of limits them as far as like projections. Final Shape was very linear. A lot of people did enjoy it, myself included, because it was linear. It was, you're in it from beginning to end. They focused on that. Honestly, myself, I enjoyed that campaign the best. I think they're kind of missing out on hitting both ends of the market, given that Sony now owns Bungie. They can't exactly create a PlayStation exclusive. I mean, if they wanted to, they could, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot just doing that, let alone limiting the fact that they want to stick with live service games.
Yeah, I agree. Paleheart was so refreshing because I don't know, I can't tell you how many times I'd be just piddling around in a world and people would see you shooting at something and they'd run over just to grief you. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't jump in this world to be frickin' someone following me around, standing in front of my viewpoint, flashing their gun or shooting in the air or whatever. It's like, you know what? Grow the fuck up. That's what I want to tell these people. And, I loved how I could go on the Paleheart anywhere, and you can bring 2 other people with you. It was, it made it where you could bring your friends and just sit there and discover stuff. And I still have not discovered everything at Paleheart. I have a lot of ghost, fragments I got to go find. So yeah, if they did something like Final Shape, the problem is Final Shape is so talent heavy to make that game. It took years to make that game. They would have to have at least 2 different studios working simultaneously. And like how Call of Duty does, they usually have a set of studios that make the next Call of Duty, and they piggyback every year to 2 years and come out with a new Call of Duty. The problem with Call of Duty is it really hasn't changed that much in probably 20 years of playing that damn game. I mean, they've made improvements. They've come back with the old fashioned zombies, round based zombies, which I gotta admit, I jumped in and played that, but the same old skins, attachments, the same old systems they use all the time. And multiplayer, let's face it, people play Call of Duty for the multiplayer. Some will play the campaign. I don't know many people who play only the campaign. I'll play the campaign only because it's usually the graphics are fantastic, but it's still on the rails. And, but everybody goes to multiplayer in Call of Duty. So that's a plus for a big company like that does, somewhat live service. I don't know how Bungie would do with just a single player game, but I tell you what, I see a lot of single player games doing very well right now. And, Baldur's Gate 3, that's single player, right? Or I think you can bring some people with you, I think, if you want to. I think it's a little bit cooperative, I think. I've got it in my library. The title screen was outstanding, let me tell you, but I haven't played it yet. But yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to add to that. I would love to see a game like that. And maybe the gummy bears they were talking about, maybe it'll be something down that road, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
You need to worry about Marathon first before they worry about gummy bears, in my opinion.
They are banking a lot of talent on Marathon. I really hope it does well. I'm rooting for Bungie to do well with that, so we'll have to see. All right. Well, that makes the last story on me. So I'm going to take my mandatory bathroom break here, and we'll be right back. Remember the days of listening to your favorite radio station and chilling out by the pool, or maybe rocking out in your car singing to those songs you knew by heart on the way to work, only to be interrupted frequently to annoying ad breaks? Today, it seems like there's just as much advertising as there is music, and why podcasts have become so popular. But I see more and more podcasts following that same trend, and it seems the corporate machine is slowly intruding into your listening space. This is why podcasts are so great, because we don't have to accept this, and thanks to our Patreon community, we won't be placing any outside ads or promotion into our show. So continue to enjoy our conversations ad-free. If you would like to join our Patreon community, check out GuardianDowncast.com and hit the Patreon button to find out more and how you can help out. Later, Guardian. Well, all right. To wrap things up tonight, I'm going to bring something to the table that I found interesting, and since we're now firmly into 2025, almost February now. My God, it just flies by. we're working our way into 2025. So my topic is there's 6 major events that are coming in 2025 that may shape our gaming hobby. And it may maybe put the imprint on the year in gaming 2025. So I've listed 6 events here in 2025 that could very well determine what 2025 is like. So it's based on an article from Chris Plant of Polygon. But I'm also going to add a 7th event that I thought should be included in this list at the very end. And I'll extrapolate on that once I get to it. But the thing about 2025 is there's a lot of games coming this year, a lot of AAA games. And what this article basically was about, the title of it was 2025 will be a stomach churning turning point for video games. And these 6 moments will shape video game culture in 2025. The last 12 months will be remembered for an estimated 14,600 layoffs, a drought of venture capital investment, and the first unrelease of a major first-party game when, quote, sluggish growth is the silver lining. Things are rough. So 2025, a year stuffed with promising new hardware and game releases, should be better. And yet 2024's cloud of discomforting uncertainty lingers. Will 2025 actually be a better year for video game industry than 2024? Picture the classic zombie movie trope in which a band of traveling survivors finally reaches that safe zone, only to wonder as the barricade rises whether it's going to be open arms of fellow survivors or another horde of cannibal zombies. 2025 could echo 2012 when THQ and 538 Game filed for Chapter 11. Nintendo launched the doomed Wii U. Remember that? Zynga, remember those guys? The social game model came crashing down to earth, and Sony invested over $380 million in cloud gaming. Or maybe change will break in the other direction. 2025 might resemble 2020 when Microsoft shrewdly acquired Bethesda and parent company ZeniMax. Microsoft and Sony launched the successful new generation of home consoles, and the collision of the COVID-19 pandemic, which was not good, and an abundance of free-to-play mobile games like Among Us, which was very popular. But it inspired a new era of social gaming. So here are the 6 storylines that will decide the outcome of the year to come. The first one he titles The Future of One of the Biggest Game Publishers and Its 18,666 Employees. Ubisoft ascended to a top-tier publisher status in the mid-2000s, writing success of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and the smorgasbord of Tom Clancy shooters. A lot can change in 2 decades. The company now struggles to keep those same aging series relevant. Worse, its executive-level focus, promising business models, the IP partnerships, games as a service, and microtransactions, appears to be a higher priority than creating compelling games. Man, ain't that the truth? Now, Ubisoft, which is under family leadership, has dodged hostile takeovers in the past, but they're more vulnerable than ever. Many of its big releases like Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, and Star Wars Outlaws failed to meet expectations. The upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed to accommodate a, quote, renewed focus on gameplay quality. And Beyond Good and Evil 2 has now been in development for over 15 years. Man, I remember seeing that at what was it? I think I saw that when that last game conference was around. I can't even remember the name of it. I've already forgotten about it. But man, I remember seeing that trailer and I was like, oh my God, this is going to change gaming. This is outstanding. This is what we need as gamers. We need stuff like this. Never to be seen yet. So a sale is as likely as it is complicated. How would an international buyer navigate Ubisoft's reliance on Canadian tax incentives? Following the recent TikTok turmoil in the US, will Chinese companies like Tencent think twice about the acquisition? An estimated 18,666 individuals worldwide wait for answers. I'm just going to quickly go to you guys. Ubisoft, do you agree that might be like a major turning point for 2025, good or bad? What do you guys think, just off the top of your head?
It is very complex. I mean, there's so many sub-questions in that, and
it's loaded.
they're even admitting a sale is as likely as it is complicated, but like, and a sale could be good or bad ultimately. So I don't even know if I have too much of an opinion if this will happen, A, and B, if it'll be a good or a bad thing. I'm just trying to think it through as we're talking right now. Like, they just talk about like, oh, it's this possible thing that could happen, but I don't know.
And if someone did buy them out, some of them might just tear the company apart and sell it off piece by piece. You know, a lot of companies will do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a big company.
And also, on a sub point, I just still am so surprised why games like Avatar and Star Wars Outlaws failed to meet expectations, because mostly people that have played it have enjoyed those games.
Yeah, I remember you said you loved it.
It's a marketing problem. I wasn't the only one. Other people that played the games too, and I know a lot of people didn't play them. But I think the problem is something about trust somewhere, because these are good games. I just don't know why people aren't buying them. Of course, I like Ubisoft Plus subscriptions, so I get the games pretty easily. But I would probably buy them anyways. I'm not saying every Ubisoft game is perfect by any means, but I promise people those two games aren't as bad as you heard they were.
I mean, I played a ton of Far Cry, and I quit playing because it's just the same game, same boss. You know,
Destiny's the same game.
Exactly, but that's their point, is they have all of these giant franchises out there, but they're so old, they're aging, and they haven't really replaced them with anything. That's
why we need a Destiny 3.
Kingsley's going to beat that drum.
There's a new DLC coming out for Division 2.
Really?
I saw.
Anyways, yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
okay.
People also were saying that they're in danger because of certain things not hitting the mark. I don't know how much they're relying on a couple games to stay afloat or not. Did they need Star Wars to do super good to stay afloat? Do they need Assassin's Creed Shadows to do good to stay afloat?
Yeah.
They might still be okay even if Shadows doesn't do good for a little bit longer. And they are a little bit slower on releasing things, but that's probably a good sign.
Yeah. So
they can just focus more on I don't know. I'm not trying to like hold them up or anything. I don't know if I personally have an answer for that.
Well, I'll get to that, JD. JD's getting ahead of me. Steele, I want to make sure you had a chance to talk. Do you have any opinion on it, Ubisoft?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just I saw in the chat that, they're kind of banking on Shadows.
Yeah, that's what Kingsley was saying.
I heard that about Outlaws.
They delayed it again too.
Yeah.
Where do they draw the line on what's their last thing they're banking on? You know what I mean?
And I haven't played Division 2 in forever. I don't know does it still got good numbers? I don't know.
I mean, it's a fun game, but I mean, like I said, I just read this week that Shadows got delayed from February 14th now to March 20th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we knew that a couple weeks ago at least.
It's just like,
yeah. Okay. But the good news is, early people are getting plays, and then I watched Ebontis, and it's looking amazing. He has really good things to say about it so far. And he was also saying good things about Indiana Jones games, which, again, not a lot of people did that game. It
did great. Yeah.
But that game, everyone who's played it says it's a good game.
Well, I love it. I ain't beat it, but I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. So, I have hopes for Shadows still right now. Okay. I'm not saying it'll be perfect,
a big company.
We'll see.
Probably one of the biggest gaming companies out there. I'll keep moving here because there's 5 more we need to talk about. I'm going to paraphrase on this one because I think everyone has been hearing news of the new handheld console that Xbox is releasing this year. And since they've kind of given up on the console wars, or let's just face it, Sony's eating their lunch right now as far as sales. And they've got this new philosophy of playing everywhere, that everything's an Xbox, right? That's their new that's kind of their new motto, or their new sales pitch is, your TV's an Xbox, your handheld phone is an Xbox. And now they have a handheld, they have a new handheld coming out later this year. So, I know you play on Xbox, right? Steele Zealot?
I do.
Yeah. What do you think about this handheld? Are you going to buy something like this?
I haven't really, heard about that personally. My birthday last year, I bought a Series X, But obviously when I'm not at home, I have my backbone, and, I just kind of cloud play or, remote play from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had my backbone for 3 years now. When I had my original Xbox, that's kind of just the way I went. It's kind of the workaround. Just in my line of work, I'm not too far from home. I'm home every day.
Right.
So I play on console.
Yeah.
So if they did come out with a handheld, like you said, they obviously are, I might look into it, but I mean, it all depends on where my connection may be if I'm not at home.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion, because I don't get the handheld market, because I just come home and play games. But if you travel a lot, like I know Respawn travels a lot with Two Titans and a Hunter. I know he travels a lot, so he probably plays on I don't know, probably an Asus or something. I think I heard he's playing on, or even a Switch. I could see. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be enough for to move Xbox's needle. I mean, Kingsley, Chet, you guys have any opinion on this? Or
I don't know why this is going to be that much better or different than what's already out there.
Yeah, there's already a lot of competition.
People are already playing on their phones too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, you got like the Asus ROG, which is pretty good,
Yeah.
but the battery life on it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
You have your Steam Deck. I mean, it's just they're trying to get into that
Yeah.
market. They're just giving people options. I'm not saying it might not sell well or nothing, but I mean, there's going to be people that are going to run out and buy it. So
Yeah.
And even with that, like they are with Game Pass Ultimate, you can, cross-play your games on PC versus console. And, with the cross-save compatibility, that sort of thing, like if you don't want to buy this, you could also buy like a laptop or even like a, something that'll get you if you travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it also comes down to what do you travel with? You have a work laptop. Do you really want to bring another laptop? All that stuff,
Yep.
True.
And it's just something for like kids. You got to look at it that way too. Because my son we got him one of those PlayStation Portals for Christmas.
Okay.
And he can play that anywhere. And that thing works great. I was playing Astrobot on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it works great. But also, like you said, Steele, it comes down to your connection where you're at.
Yeah.
How well it's going to play it. So.
Yeah, Sony makes good hardware. That's always been their strength, is their hardware. Mike, anything?
I already kind of mentioned my point on that.
Okay,
Yep.
We'll move on. I'll keep it going here. Well, we know all eyes are on Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, that goes without saying that's going to be a big mover if it does, in fact, come out in 2025. But what they're talking about here is keeping your eyes instead on a trio of AAA franchises under the umbrella of Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two. 2K, another publisher under Take-Two, has announced 2025 releases. 3 of its biggest franchises, Mafia, Borderlands, and Civilization. Whether they find an audience will clarify gamers still have an appetite for new entries in the gaming's biggest franchises and established genres, or if we're seeing a shift to new stories and styles of play. What do you think? I'm going to play.
What they're saying they're contradicting themselves because those aren't new entries or new stories. Borderlands, Civ, and Mafia have already been.
Well,
around.
I think the fact that they're having new versions of their older franchises come out, like Borderlands 4. I'm going to play Borderlands 4. I mean, everyone. The other
new
two games.
To what's already, I see what's already established.
Well, what they're saying here is, do you think people are moving on from these old games, or do you think they'll come back and play Civilization?
They're going to come back. People who are like, just like me, Borderlands, I'm literally playing through the first Borderlands again.
I'll play it.
So
I think they'll come back.
Yeah,
they're going to come back. Your people who love the franchises are going to come back.
Yeah.
Especially Mafia, because I think this is like a prequel. This one is.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands 4 is like first open world Borderlands. So that's going to draw people in to see what that's like. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to come back to these games. There's too big of a following of these games to not come back to them.
And of course, the elephant in the room is Grand Theft Auto 6. If it does come out this year, you know it's going to break every damn record out there. They're just going to own everybody. I mean, my God, they're writing their own checks right now anyway with the old one. So.
Oh, yeah. The role-playing aspect in 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Zealot, before I move on, anything on that one?
No, I mean,
Okay.
I single player. I've played Grand Theft Auto,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, and 5. Just story based. Haven't really got into the multiplayer of it in 5, but I mean, if there is a story with 6, or if it's going to be, open world, people have been waiting for it for years. They've been asking for it for years.
And they're in Florida.
Yeah.
You're finally going to see how we live here. Kind
I
of.
have. I'm good.
Okay. Where's my bath salts? Never mind.
I'd rather just go there. It's too cold
I got you, man. I got you. All right. We'll keep moving on then. We all know that Balatro totally killed this year. Indies had kind of their time in the sun this year. I mean, my God. I think Balatro won several awards at the Game Awards this year. But what they're saying here is, with all the AAA releases coming out, do you think indies are going to have a good year compared to last year? Because their contention is there's thousands of games a year that are released in indie play. And they, of course, the challenge is finding people who want to play those games. But as difficult as last year was for indie developers, they have relatively few AAA releases to compete against. They won't be so fortunate this year. Some of the biggest franchises in gaming will get new releases this year, accompanied by mainstream marketing campaigns that will fill website banner ads and major sporting event commercial breaks. Independent creators won't just have to compete for gamers' money, but for their time. And I've already told you about that. The currency in the gaming industry is time, not so much money. Because if you spend time in a game, you're going to naturally spend money. That, I still think that's the currency that developers need to worry about, is retention, not about getting that $60 hit. But I digress. What do you think, guys? You think AAAs will have a tough time this year, or do you think they'll have a good shot?
No, this was saying, would indies have a hard time?
You reversed what you said there. Yeah, you said AAA.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 5 screens at
I'm
once.
like, I don't think AAAs are going to have their problems.
No. AAAs will never have problems because they have marketing teams that probably are bigger than the indie developers.
But they probably won't.
Yeah.
At least one of them will do good this year, right? But
Yep.
I don't know if I think, because I don't think this article is really looking that far in the past. I'm sure there's other years where indie games have also competed. And and not everyone's going to play every AAA game. This is just always a wild card question. But if I had to place my bets, I think some will do pretty good.
I think indies will be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, my son plays a ton of indies. I mean, his Steam library just dwarfs mine, and I think I have like 500 things in my library.
There's going to be an indie game that nobody saw coming that's going to hit.
Yeah.
And you'll see it at the Game Awards come in.
And you'll find time, or you'll play it if you're not into the other games, or because the thing about indie games is they're so unique.
Yeah.
If you do find one you like, and they're generally a lot cheaper, not always, and just those things alone just get people interested in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Mo nailed it. Studios need to focus on making a game fun over anything else. And I'll tell you what, Balatro, it looks like a super simple game. And my son played it, and he said, "Dad, you got to try this game. It's really cool." I was like, "What is it?" "Oh, it's a poker game, but it's a roguelike poker game." I'm like, "Yeah, pass. Doesn't have guns, doesn't have shooting." And then Hurricane Milton slammed into us. I didn't have power, so all I had to play on, thank goodness, Apple Games, Apple Arcade had it, and I never put it down. I still play it every night, just about. So you just never know. So I'm neutral on this. I don't play a lot of games, so I don't really have an opinion on this, but I'm just curious what you guys thought. Steel? You good?
I mean,
yep.
With Game Pass, I've been able to play a lot of indie games just because they're free to play.
Right.
It's so many good games that I've come across, or I even just see like a small trailer and they actually show gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these like AAA games in their trailers, it's all cinematic.
Yep.
They don't show gameplay. It's all just, oh, here's the scenery, here's the graphics, here's a cut scene or two. And I think indie games, they show the realism. And like Kingsley said, it's kind of a niche thing. Yes, they're free or less expensive, so they're more widely accessible. Mm-hmm. but I don't think that it would be so much as like one over the other. Yeah. Like Kingsley said, it's a wild card question.
Yeah, Balatro is $12 on Steam. $12.
It's
or
$10 in the Apple Store.
Yeah, or free.
Or yeah, a Game Plus on Apple. It's included.
I got it. It's exactly how I got it. But I went ahead and supported him again on Steam, and I played on PC as well. I have two different instances, and I'm unlocking I'm in two different scenarios. I only wish I wish they had crossplay. That would be so great. But hey, it's one guy making the game, so I'm going to give him a little room. But let's see, 99 Cap had an opinion here. He said that indies are thriving while big 3A companies drop the ball. On top of that, publishing as an indie on the console market is easier than ever. The average gamer is slipping out of AAA games. AAA games, I think it goes back to Mo's point. They need to make a game that's fun. And as simple as Balatro is, it's just fun. It just scratches that itch. All right, I'm going to move on because I'm looking at our clock here. The fifth major event, and we've already kind of brushed on it, Game Pass. You know, Microsoft has bet a lot on Game Pass being their big thing that catapults them into the stratosphere. Now they have these big budget, studios. They're finally releasing games this year. And I'm curious if that is going to pay off for them. A lot of people are playing. And let's keep in mind too, that Game Pass is not the only way to play these huge games. They're going to offer these games on Steam and they are smart about it. They're going to distribute these games, I think, even to PlayStation for some of them. So, they're not totally first party games, but they are first party games. But, yeah, I know that speech mode.
They're not Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But the fact that you have Game Pass, we saw the Xbox event they just had. I gotta admit, the 4 games that I saw all look fun to play, and they look good. They look really good. But I don't know if I'm gonna try them though. I don't know. What do you guys think? Game Pass, win or loss, big, or
I love
bust?
Game Pass.
Yeah,
I love Game Pass.
Same.
Like I said, I've got to play the new Call of Duty and didn't have to spend a dime on it. I think I had to spend on was the Battle Pass if I wanted to buy it.
Right.
I love it. The Indiana Jones, I'm playing it. Didn't have to buy it.
Yes,
I'm paying for it monthly, but I'm not having to drop $60 or something on a game all at once. You know.
Yeah, same. I was expecting to dish out a pretty penny for Starfield when it came out. It was a big flop, but there was a lot of hype about it. And it was just one of those things. It's like, I'm looking forward to this game. I don't want to buy it outright. And the second in the showcase that they were like, hey, it's going to be free to play day one, I was like, sold.
Right.
And I waited. And I started the first couple missions that night. I stayed up and I waited, and it was worth it until the bugs started coming. And I was glad that I didn't pay for it outright.
See,
it's a good alternative.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I'm going to bring you an example. Here's the thing about Game Pass. You don't own the game. And I know we don't own any games anymore, right? I get it. But let's take an example here. You guys know The Expanse, that awesome sci-fi series that came out? It was on Sci-Fi, and then Prime Video bought it, and they had like the 3rd and 4th episodes on Prime. I don't know if you guys watch that. It was a really, really good, I know me and Laz both love it. Really good sci-fi series. And it's going to be a classic. It's going to be one of those classic sci-fi shows that you got to watch. Well, here's the problem. Prime's dropping it. They're dropping it out of the collection. So where are you going to be able to find it if you want to watch this series? And I don't even want to pretend to know how the streaming rights work. Cause I think I heard that they're dropping the first 2 seasons because Sci-Fi has the rights to them. And then 3rd and 4th they're keeping. So that doesn't make any damn sense. That's like asking people to play Destiny starting with what? Starting with Witch Queen. They have no clue what's even going on. It's a very in-depth show, and there's a lot of character development. How the hell are you supposed to know what the characters are like if you're jumping in midstream? but that's my point on Game Pass. I think, and you can say, well, they offer the game. You can buy the game if you decide you want to keep it. I get that. But isn't that kind of defeating the point? If you want to play... No?
No, I mean, the game goes on Game Pass, and they'll drop it off of Game Pass. And since you have Game Pass, you get it discounted to buy it if you want to.
I get that. I understand. I understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I've not seen them drop a game and just drop it to the point you can't play it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not against Game Pass. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Well, people don't. Yeah, but you got to play it against yourself too, because you have PlayStation Plus, and they drop games off of that too.
Yeah.
So like, people just don't care. They see it as like a way to like play games that they like, and if for some reason they really love the game, and if they were to drop it, they'd be okay paying the extra little amount to get the game.
It was just like me buying Ubisoft Plus for a month just to play Skull and Bones.
Okay.
I played it. I didn't like it, but I only wasted like $16 for that month instead of paying $70 for a game that I can't return or get my money back for. All I had to do is cancel Ubisoft Plus.
Mo also said he doesn't care. I think a majority of people don't care.
Okay. They just want to consume. Just a correction. PlayStation Plus, you can add that game to your library instantly. You can download it. It's on your console.
I'm talking about the subscription, the Plus Extra.
Yeah.
They drop games from that.
Yeah,
but games from that.
But once you add them to your digital library, you can access them anytime. Now, as far as
the ones on the Plus Extra, not the ones on the Plus Extra, the subscription part.
Okay, I have the Plus Extra.
It depends on which. It depends on what subscription.
I get the Mac Daddy one because I want to support the game studios and the console I love to play on.
That's one of your benefits of having that. I mean, if you don't, like Kingsley's saying, if you don't have that, then
it's $140 a year. It's $140 a year for that Game Plus for the Mac Daddy. What do you call it? What are you paying per month for Game Pass?
No, so regular PlayStation Plus that you have to have just to play online games. Those get 2 free games you get a month.
Yep, that's true.
Those you get to keep forever.
Yes, you do.
The PlayStation Plus Extra and then the higher one, they do have a chance of dropping those games.
They have a back library too. You can play all the demos. There's a lot of pluses. I've used a lot of those.
I know. They will drop games from PlayStation also.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm a PlayStation fanboy.
Yeah, you don't say you're playing devil's advocate, but you're over here defending PlayStation.
I'm kind of I'm
Xbox.
I'm playing.
Hearing your voice.
I'm playing. I know. I'm just. Hey, I own Xboxes. I got a 360. I got a One. I've got a Black. I just don't own the latest one because
What the hell is an Xbox Black?
Well, it's the Xbox One day one. I get the day one edition. Xbox One. I got the day one.
Said black still.
With the it's a black. It's a black console. It's like a limited edition.
Hey, mine's black too. I have an Xbox Black.
All right. I'm not an Xbox expert.
X.
Anyway, it came. Remember, it was instantly on all the time. You had the camera that was always looking at you, and you're like spooked out because you can never log out. Yeah, they dropped that really quick. I chucked that sucker in the trash.
You mean the Kinect?
Yeah, the Kinect. Yeah, the Kinect.
Just unplug the damn thing.
No, but originally when you bought it day one, you had to have it plugged in. You had to have it plugged in, and you were always online. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing, man. That's for sure.
Games leaving PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium on February 18th. Outer Worlds, Outriders, Scarlet News, Bulletstorm, Tales. There's a big list here.
Yeah.
And those are games that even if you have them in your library, you'll lose access to them when they go away.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway,
get back to the point.
All right. So I'm going to move on because I don't think I'm going to win that argument. But that is another thing is they have some major games coming out that that Microsoft has spent what? Well, how much did they spend on all these studios? Like it's something, it's like $100 billion. $100 billion. That's a lot of money, dude. That's a lot of money.
It's not going nowhere. They'll get their money back for it. Trust me.
All right. The last one that they added, and I have one extra one, is the Switch 2. It's coming finally. And since the Nintendo 64, Nintendo has bounced between hits and disappointments with home consoles, and I'm not a fan of Switch. However, its handhelds seem to always find their audience, which trajectory will Switch 2 take? And will the budget game studios benefit from having a Nintendo handheld powerful enough to play their wares? Switch 2, plus or minus, boom or bust? What do you think?
I mean, the Switch 2 is pretty much just PS4 or Xbox One. They're always at least, Kingsley, I'll agree or don't agree with me, but they're always generation-wise, console-wise.
Yeah.
Always one or two behind the new ones that are out to me.
Yeah.
And now I love it. My son loves them. I mean, my son still plays his Wii. There's games on he still loves playing his Wii. And he's 20 years old.
Yep.
And I mean, the Switch, my daughter, son still play it. I mean, it's got a niche, is what I'm saying. And there's going to be certain games that come out on it. They're only going to be played on that. I mean, your Mario's, your Zelda's.
Right.
You're going to have that Switch, and that's what's going to draw people to buy it.
I have not been a fan of Switch. I have yet to get it to hook up to my Wi-Fi. It is the most stubborn handheld I've ever used. It's such a piece of crap. And my son, who is a networking expert, he's an internet analyst. He does all kinds of stuff on the internet as far as connectivity and stuff. He couldn't get it to connect. So I don't know if I just got a crap model, a defective one.
You ever thought about taking it back? I mean, you do have a warranty on it.
I bought it and it sat. I'm a
network expert too, and most switches don't have a problem.
Really?
So you must have just got a bad one.
You just got a bad one. Yeah, I've never had any problems connecting.
Okay. That brings me to my last one that I'm adding. And we've kind of talked about it. We've kind of danced around it tonight. The 8th bonus event. Bungie. Are they going to pull a rabbit out of the hat and revitalize the Destiny 2 franchise? And will Marathon, which has taken lots of Bungie's talent to create, be a winner? Or will it break the studio? I mean, I'm hoping they're both winners, of course, since I'm a fan of Bungie's PvP environment and the Crucible field they put on the weapons. But Kingsley and I have, over the last 3 episodes of Guardian Downcast, talked at length about things that may raise the bar and how we engage in content with Bungie. And from Bungie, I should say. We've thrown out a myriad of ideas. Some that I've been preaching on for years that Bungie, for some reason, still hasn't incorporated into its game. But like I mentioned last week, if Bungie doesn't create any new systems and change how the game is played, then a Destiny 3 would be just a waste of money and a waste of talent, in my opinion. When Bungie was on the ropes in 2018, they brought about the Forsaken expansion, which totally changed the game. Just like they did with the Taken King expansion in Destiny 1, which revitalized the franchise for what we play today. I know that some have said that I will keep pushing the line forward in the sand, stating it will be make or break for Destiny 2, Kingsley. But I really think that come June of 2025, we'll get a solid look at Bungie's vision for the future of the Destiny franchise. And I have my fingers crossed that they will have some great expectations and great quality of life changes and things that will meet the super high expectations of a fan base that's been playing for near 11 years. When Justin Truman warned about over-delivery in that infamous GDC conference speech in 2022, he might have overlooked the fact that as a decade-long Guardian, also expect the studio to top itself every couple of years as well. I, for one, am rooting for them to get that W, but time's going to tell on that. Comments? Questions?
Yeah. You can't say Destiny 3 will be a waste of time because they wouldn't make new systems. They for sure would be making new systems with Destiny 3, like they made new systems for Destiny 2 over Destiny 1.
Let me qualify that. I said if they don't make changes in systems, then a Destiny 3 is just basically a number on the end of Destiny.
But Destiny 3 would always have new systems in it. Always.
Okay.
There would never be a situation of a Destiny 3 where there would not be new systems in it.
Okay.
So the valid argument's kind of...
Okay.
Anyways.
I just put that in for you because I wanted to nudge you a little.
Destiny 2 had new systems over Destiny 1, so it would be guaranteed that Destiny 3 would have new systems.
And Taken King, you're a Taken Tot, had totally different systems from the original Destiny game. I've been there since the beta, so... It was a lot.
So don't use that as a reason not to make Destiny 3.
All right, fine.
The bigger concern is, will Destiny 2 have new systems? That's the bigger concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Destiny, and I hope they do good, but I am not betting that Frontiers will
be
as big as we want it to be. And I'm not betting that I gave the 40% chance on Marathon. So...
Yeah, some people in the chat agree with you.
That's my prediction. I was right about what was happening after Final Shape.
Yeah.
I bet I'll be right about this too. I bet Frontiers will have a bump. It won't be as big as Final Shape.
Right.
And it'll go down again pretty quickly a month after.
Yep.
Unless they do something that just wows the people.
I don't know.
Sorry, I just predict that's what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Steel Zealot, what do you think, man?
I can't remember exactly the timeline as far as when Sony bought out Bungie. Was that before or after they released the whole Frontiers?
It was before.
It was before.
It was before. It was even Lightfall-ish time, wasn't it? Or even before Lightfall?
I don't think it was before Lightfall, because I started in the middle of Lightfall.
Well, yeah, but like it wasn't really just because it was bought out doesn't mean like they were doing anything with it yet, because it took time to ramp stuff up.
Right.
Let me see. When did Sony buy Bungie?
Acquire Bungie.
Yeah. What year?
What was it? 2023, I think.
2022.
Okay.
22.
So it was.
So I think
back then.
That's great. Yeah, no wonder.
I think because Sony has their hands on the outer workings, kind of playing puppet master. They've kind of done well with like Uncharted and some of their other franchises that they're kind of dipping their hand into Xbox as far as Destiny goes. I think that Frontiers is going to be eye-opening a little just because of what Sony has done in the past with their solo platform games specifically. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be earth-shattering, but I think that something is going to happen that I think will change the future of Destiny. I can't exactly put my finger on exactly what, but I think there's going to be something that kind of it is going to bring people back. If that means they're not going full expansion, they're kind of, breaking it up into, or not full DLC, but like they're doing the expansions. I think they're going to be able to give us more content because they're breaking up the timeline instead of one big thing. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, well, this is supposed to last us until the next big thing.
Right.
So with these smaller expansions, and the little intricacies with that, I think that something is going to change, but not huge. If that makes sense.
I want to play you guys a statement from Justin Truman from that GDC conference. I meant to play it last week. I always want to play it back here. And this was when he was taking questions at the very end to the game developers that were, he stayed for a few minutes to ask a few questions. And this one really hit home for me. And there's a few terms in here that I'll explain if you don't understand what they're talking about here, but it's really low. So I'm going to turn it up. So be careful, guys. I'm going to turn your volumes up a little bit so the chat and everyone can hear it. But here we go. I want to show this.
Oh, I think let's do one more question and then we're done.
Hey, thank you for the great talk. Love Destiny.
Thank you.
So when you're focusing on DAU and weekly AU,
yep.
Do you break down your audience kind of like by motivation? It's okay for this part of the audience to just like they care about the story. They're going to show up for a very short time per week to play through this story. Because how do you avoid the trap of focusing so much on that you might burn out your players because they feel like they always need to be engaged. They can't play anything else.
Yeah, and that's kind of that distinction between engagement and sentiment and why we have to check them both. Because you can create toxic patterns where you motivate people to log in, but they get less and less happy about it. And so when that happens, we see that show up in sentiment first, and then inevitably it's going to show up in your engagement too. Because eventually someone's going to be like, I'm in an unhealthy relationship. I need to stop this. But we usually catch that first on the sentiment side.
Okay. Even if there's no way to track it if they're being silent about it, if they just silently.
Well, the sentiment on the silent side with like Rate last week, we're able to track even the players who aren't complaining. We can see their interest waning over time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
He's asking about the daily player engagement. And he's saying, what happens when you can't motivate your player base and they feel like they're being punished and they don't want to log in, but they feel they have to log in. And he says, how do you not burn out your player base? And Justin's response was, well, we have the data, which will tell us the intent of the player, if they're logging in or not, before their numbers start to dip. And he seemed to have an answer for it. And now here we are with the player numbers super, super low, probably the most diehard of Guardians that are still playing it today. And that was just a clip I got from that Gamer Developer Conference. And so at the very end, before he said, that's it, we're out. And they acted like, well, we'll know the intent. We'll know the intent before we get to those numbers. So my question is Bungie listening? Are they watching their player intent numbers lately?
What intent are they claiming to know? Because they don't know what people's attitudes are like when they log in. Some people do log in out of obligation, especially if you're a newer player. Mm-hmm. Other people log in because they're truly enjoying it. And then other people are logging in and they are going to burn themselves out. I've always said burnout isn't related to how much you play. You can play a game millions of hours and never get burnt out. Burnout is when you're doing things that aren't fun, but you feel like you need to do them. Yeah. And I always kind of shake my head at people, well, like, why are you doing that? Stop doing those things if they aren't fun, But people do it all the time and then they get burnt out. And I just don't know how Bungie can know what the intent is of the player. I mean, I think surveys would do better than... Yeah.
And they've been doing those. They've been doing those. Mo said, I think he's trying to say when interest dwindle, like if players log in for less time or hardly log in at all. Yeah, that's the intent numbers that they're talking about, where they can look at actual login numbers. And I'm sure that, they track everything we do in the game. I mean, you can look at heat map signatures of where we're going to play. They know what we do when we join the game. So
what was the question reference to then again? They said they would know.
Yeah, the game developer was asking Justin. He goes, how do you make content with this live service model where you're not burning out your player base by making them feel like it's a job to log in, and they're having less and less fun logging in, but because of FOMO and things built into the live service model, that they feel they have to log in and not enjoy it as much, or feel like they lesser and lesser fun, were the point that they finally get fatigue. They finally get the fatigue. Yeah.
If people stop logging in, which is happening now, then they know basically. But if people are logging in, I just don't see how they can know what the intent is, if they're enjoying it or not. But
and Mo says surveys would be 1,000 times better. And I've gotten those surveys. I've gotten surveys, and people I know have talked in the Discord have said they've gotten surveys from Bungie too. Like, how are we doing? What did you play last week? They get little things like that from you. And 99 Cap says intent doesn't matter. They judge that based on community sentiment.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're in that echo chamber of YouTubers who have to make a living by streaming content for Destiny versus the actual player that maybe not so harsh with the gameplay. I don't know. I don't know. I guess he's asking, where do you get that data, or how do you know? Yeah.
Go ahead. If you've got a streamer that all their eggs in the basket are Destiny, that's their fault.
It's their fault. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But I'm wondering, what my question is I'm wondering if that's all who Bungie listens to is the Astacrosses and Dados.
No, that's not all they listen to.
I don't think that's all they listen to, but I think it's a heavier weighted they listen to.
Okay.
But it's not all they listen to.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, every game thinks they cater to the big streamers. Every game's like that. When stuff gets changed, we're changing it because, like Fortnite, these like Cypher PK, Tim the Tapman, Ninja, all of them getting there in Fortnite and go, this gun's OP, this gun's crap, you need to change this gun's not strong enough, and all of a sudden they're changing it, and people are going, they're doing it because these guys are streaming it every day, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, right.
I don't believe that 100%.
Yeah, and also there's actual stories of people writing things in the Bungie forums, not streamers or Reddit, and then the Bungie developers seeing those things from community sentiment and then actually acting on that. So it's not just streamers, that's for sure.
Any final thoughts still, Zealot, before we head out?
Like they were saying, I mean, if they did cater to the streamers and YouTubers that were specifically Destiny, then we would have a lot more content, because releasing all the content for Revenant week 1.
Yeah.
How long did it take? An hour, 2 hour, 3 hours?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's going to be one stream.
That's not even one stream. That's like a quarter of their stream. Yeah.
And then it's just the next 2, 3, 4 hours, however long they stream, of just running the seasonal activity over and over and over and over. And they're going to lose viewers really quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Bungie is definitely not just catering to streamers. And I mean, I'm not saying I don't know what the percentage is, but yeah, they definitely don't cater just to the streamers.
Yeah, I wasn't implying 100%, but I'm just curious how much they lean on that part. But I mean, they were giving a lot of shout outs on the Bungie dev live stream this week, calling out a lot of people, like Mactix and stuff. So, and I know Mactix is a fairly up and coming Destiny streamer. So, he does a lot of build videos. Also,
streamers have been saying to bring back old content too. And if they were listening to that, they would have done it by now.
No, I'm not part of that echo chamber, believe me, because I play when I want to play. I really don't care what streamers think. I realize they have to produce content every week to pay their bills. And you can see a lot of them have moved on to, I mean, even Astrocross, which is probably one of the most hardcore, Destiny streamers out there. You know, he's playing PoE too. You know, he's playing other games. He's actually playing Warframe right now too. So, and finding out how
Rivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's you know, that's smart. That's smart because we just don't know. And, I think Mo said it earlier in the stream. He said, I'm waiting for that Vidoc to see what they are thinking about for the future. And I'm so with you, man. I love those Vidocs.
Well, yeah, we're saying we're excited about the Vidoc, and I am too.
Yeah,
I am too.
Exactly.
I take a very realistic approach. I hope that Frontiers can be better than I'm expecting. But remember, everyone was saying the same thing about Final Shape, and that Vidoc came out like, this is going to fix everything. And there's going to be so many cool things after Final Shape with the episodes. The episodes are a whole new model. Bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, episodes did not change. They didn't know.
A good Vidoc is not enough. It has to be. The proof is in the pudding.
Hey, I bought into the hype. I thought it was going to be a great moment for them to transition into another era of Destiny 2. Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the show this week. I know Bungie's not in the best place right now, and I appreciate all of you that still listen to our little podcast. And these live roundtable episodes are kind of the reason I changed this in our show format, is because sometimes we like to talk about other things in the show that maybe aren't fully Destiny related, even though some Destiny topics kind of crept back in this week. But what do you guys think about our topics? Kingsley started the show talking about the new AI that is coming from China that's overpowering just about everything in the world. What do you guys think? Are you guys worried about AI? Then Steel Zealot talked about the new player experience and how glitchy and buggy it is. And honestly, it's an embarrassment, I think, for this game. And I can't believe that's what new players have to go through. Even though I played the new player experience a year ago, it looks like it hasn't gotten any better, and now it has bugs and stuff that are having issues with. So, yeah, what do you guys think about the new player experience? Do you think Bungie will actually create another version like a WoW classic like Blizzard did? Or do you think it's just a lost cause? Let me know. And then RNGGator talked about how there were rumors that the developers inside Bungie really have wanted to make more single player games. And with the trend today, where a lot of people are playing single player games, I'm not surprised that's the fact. I'm just curious if Bungie could pull it off, especially the same quality that the Destiny game is. I mean, they talk about manpower to make cutscenes for our seasons even. I don't know if they could, they'd definitely have to hire a lot more people, but I'm curious if Sony, since they do invest a lot in single player games, would give Bungie that chance to do that. And with the new Gummy Bears game they have working, we'll have to see what that ends up being as well. And then finally, I talked about 6 events during 2025 that could shape or kind of frame 2025 in gaming overall. I talked about various ones, and we kind of stopped at each topic to see what everyone thought. But the main one being at the end is, do you think Bungie is going to pull a rabbit out of the hat and really turn Destiny 2 around with Frontiers? They've been really quiet about what actually is coming or where we're going, or even how this new episode, the last one, thank goodness, that we have to play, Heresy, which comes out tomorrow as you're hearing this on a Monday, if it's going to bring us into that next saga of Destiny. I'm just curious how they're going to tie it all in. Anyway, let us know. It's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. If you want to join our Discord and hit up our GDC feedback channel, or usually it's pretty active on a Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. And let us know. Let us know what you think. We love to hear from you guys. I read all the comments that come in, and I'll even respond to many of them as well. And we'll have a nice conversation in the Discord. Again, that's discord.gg/Guardian Downcast. Pretty nice hang. A lot of cool people. A lot of cool people in our community. I love them. I just want to thank all the patrons of the show. Our Dungeon Champion patrons, like Technical, Raffy, Deadpool 1 Merc, and Darth Noodle. Thank you, gentlemen. And our Raid Boss patron. That's Jealous, Frostbite, and Amazing Taco King for giving back to the show and community. Remember that all of our Patreon funds go right back into our community. Well, that's a wrap. Another episode in our collection. We have 288 other shows, interviews from gamers all over the community, or just some Destiny talk in general. So take a look at those if you're just finding out about us. We have a ton of back episodes, and they're all at GuardianDowncast.com. You can even search for someone you want to hear from just through our search option on the website. Special thanks to my co-hosts, Kingsleymac and RNGGator, and our special guest, Mr. Steel Zealot. You can contact me at ToddtheGatr, 2Ds, GATR, all across the socials and gaming platforms. And you can reach me via email at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. And remember, if you have a comment or something you want to tell us, go to our voicemail system. That's speakpipe.com/GuardianDowncast, or you can just go to our website and hit the send voicemail button. It's that easy. If you have a phone, you can talk into your phone, then you're good. Just kind of find a quiet spot if you're going to send us a message. And remember to give us your gamer tag so we can give you credit on the show. Remember, as you're playing Final Shape, take breaks, get outside, and touch grass. Cap 99. Hey everyone, remember, we're Guardian Downcast, your stories, your community, and your destiny. And be good to your fellow Guardians in the Destinyverse.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian. Yeah, I'm drinking Coke.
And everybody, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I just lost my voice. It just dropped. Oh my God. Damn. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was the reason I wanted to play that clip. So hold on a sec. I got to reset here. Hold on a sec. Man, I got a frog really quick.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah, this will be a good time for that mandatory bathroom break. No, I'm good.
No, I'll do a speed run.